we
There you
good?
go. You're live.
Are we live?
I think we're live. Once again, I'm never sure. Technology is hard. So, welcome to tonight's Immersion RPG. We're talking about wrecking cars because that's what you do on a Tuesday night.
Friday, actually.
I don't think it's Friday night.
No,
thought
that's
that
the
was
last
it.
time I wrecked one.
We're
though.
talking about it. We're going to
it was
wreck them
for
on
Sunday.
Friday. But that's neither here nor there. All right. Welcome back to Immersion RPG. We still have everybody at the table because nobody's died yet, surprisingly. But it is only a matter of a time before we achieve that. Last we left off our... Valiant just seems wrong. But last time we left off our goblins, they had collected a fellow goblin companion after entering the small town of Doffshire, seeking to go steal a boat so that they can achieve the salvation for their tribe. They collected this goblin named Spleck, took some of his worldly possessions, and then recruited him to assist them in their acquisition of a boat. And following him into his job, which was the little tavern of Doffshire, they tried to formulate a plan on how best to get out of the sewer tunnels that they had used to access said tavern and make their way sneakily through the town, which might be easier said than done. With that said, they were formulating their plan and decided they were all going to sneak out their own individual separate ways, and after slowly inching out of the hatch and into the kitchen where the cook was currently residing, their recently acquired goblin friend decided to raise the alarms, screaming to his cookmaster that there were goblins and they had been infiltrated. So, with that, we're going to have everybody roll initiative.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh, God. I can't roll crap on this. Poor Pez.
Uh-oh. Wow.
It's actually not that
Both Spleck and the cook got 19, so...
Ah, shucks.
All right, starting around the table, who do we have 20 and above?
22.
22, all right. 15 to 20?
15.
Cook. And then what do you choose?
I got a 10.
5.
Wow, all right. Then we got Stubbs and Pez.
Bringing up the rear.
That's what she
Effectively
said.
ninja.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it is.
So, looking on the battle camera, which
Yeah,
we
you'll
will
be
switch everybody over to right now, hopefully. We have our valiant heroes. I should use air quotes on that. Facing off
Intrepid?
against the cook.
Foolhardy?
Foolhardy heroes, sure. All right. So,
Pretty sure I'm out in the stables.
I like to claim
yes, you are
enterprising.
I'm
you are
not
currently
here.
not in the room
I'm not here.
as
Right, you walked through the
Stubbs
wall.
turned ethereal and walked through the wall into the adjacent room of this little tiny tavern, which
Yes.
is the stables. Shifty, you are up. And currently you are in a tiny little cook room. There is one window to get out, and the door and everything else seems to currently just be closed. You're in this tiny little room, and the cook, who has turned around instantly from what he was paying attention to on the table, has a giant meat cleaver that he has raised up, and he's just instantly assessing the situation. And Spleck just got done screaming, "There's goblins in here! They're gonna kill us! They're infiltrating everybody!"
I thought she was a cat.
Yeah.
She is a cat.
Apparently cats are goblins now. Racist. Which one of the windows is open?
None of the windows are open. There is one window, which is like
that's
a
how it
half circle, and it has 2 panes of glass, but it is not openable, and it is about 6 feet off the ground.
Does it look head smashable?
It definitely looks head smashable if you were strong. Yeah.
I've seen a cat
Bite
try to
my
break a
hand.
window with its head.
It doesn't work.
It's the entertaining thing. It just sits there all day.
Oh, it's terrible.
That's all the cat does.
You know what happened to birds when they do that?
Is there another open part where I can run out?
There is a singular door out of the room, and it appears to just be on swivel hinges. As you look toward that door, you see bright light coming in through the seams around the edge of the door, and you hear what used to be a rather jovial ruckus coming through is now the sound of scraping swords on scabbards as, to the best of your ability, more than 3 and less than 100 people are probably on the other side of that door.
That's more than 3.
Yes.
I'll run
Less
out
than
through
100.
Unless.
You run out through there?
Yeah, but I want to look casual.
Like this many.
Casual.
Oh my lord. Okay. That was so punny.
Do I know enough about cats to act like one? Just like in a nature sense,
Why don't you give me a nature roll?
Good stepping cat.
You ever
Please be awkward.
see someone that's
most
not a cat
awkward
turn into a cat and then try to act like a
9.
cat?
9. So in
Oh wait,
your
nature?
yeah.
9. Nope. Never mind. It is 15.
Okay.
Not 9. I added wrong.
Yeah, normally you're used to cats in a like on a spit over a fire situation, so it's hard to gauge what their behavior is when they're alive. But
Looks like a
you also have turned into a cat enough that you kind of get a feel for what their general anatomy is supposed to make them do. So you know how to walk like a cat, yes. If you were to try to interact with other cats, you'd probably be lost as to what normal cat behavior is.
stupid cat. Got
Oh.
it.
You look like a cat with slight palsy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's not necessarily unusual.
Can saunter out through that door then?
Yeah, you can saunter out through that door. You have a movement speed of 30, so no problem. You get through that door, and then before you get through that door, I need you to make a strength check to see if you can push that door open.
Wait, no, not the.
A swivel door on hinges. It's still a heavy door, and you're
I
a
thought
tiny
it was
cat.
like the cowboy one where it was like the.
It is, but it is. You have maybe half an inch of clearance at the bottom, and it's like a full door. It's not Western saloon doors.
Totally didn't read that correctly. Do I add the
It
strength
does.
of my
It
character?
does swing like that. Nope. You add the strength of a cat.
Just like -2. It's probably -2.
I was going to say, there should be something
Let's
in that
find
book.
out. Where are
That is
the
-4.
creatures?
I just
Ooh,
smell
Cats have a,
-4.
cats have a strength
out
of
here in the
3.
stables.
Yep, there, we got it.
Okay.
I'm so glad I went
1.
ethereal and went through the wall.
1? Okay. In your... How did you put that? Casually?
Casually.
You try to saunter over to the door, and lowering your little cat head, you butt up against it, and it just kind of cleans your clock for a second, and you're sitting there, and you're stunned. You have however much movement you have left. So it looks like it would have taken you about 15 feet to get to the door, so you have about an additional 15 feet that you can move.
Hey, Shifty. Did you hit your head pretty hard? How you feeling?
Oh my god.
I feel like.
Oh my god.
Does it work when
And
you
you
have
now
list?
have reverse inspiration.
-10.
I will take it with pride.
Since I'm actually in the stables, can I just plug my ears?
Actually, as current until we reach your turn, you are currently walking through physical space as you are going through walls.
Yeah, cool, good. So I actually can't hear any of this.
No,
Nope.
you
Okay,
actually
good.
you can't hear
That's all I
anything
need
while
to
you're.
hear.
Humans.
La, 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 la,
So
la,
you
la.
You have 15 feet left of movement. What do you want to do?
Guessing I can't hide.
You can use your action to hide if you would like. Yes.
Oh. Cool. I'll try to do that.
All right. Give us a stealth check.
What's cat dexterity?
Cat dex is +2. I
Uh,
have cat.
16.
All right. I will add that on there.
Page 305 if you need
To
it.
the best of your ability, you just go up to all the other boxes of food and just sit there and pose like you're a logo on the box. All right.
It's cat food.
Now, it is the cook's turn. So as the cook was happily just chopping away at onions and throwing them into a pot for stew, two of his previous goblin flunkies walk up, one of them missing a vest, and the other one not missing a vest, as Pez casts Disguise Self on herself to turn into Spleck. A cat came out of the cellar, and you went stealth, Knob, I believe. So will you give me a stealth check?
That's pretty good.
I got a math. Hold on.
Numbers are hard.
24.
24. Okay. So he literally just sees two Splecks and a cat come out.
You must be the real Spleck because you actually are wearing all of your clothes.
But you can't talk, and you're not whiny.
So he does instantly lock eyes on you, the cat, and sees you. He's like, Spleck, what the hell is... And he just is locked between the two different Splecks.
Confusion.
And he's going to walk up, and he's going to kick both of you, as he would for normal Spleck. That is a 18 to hit you, Pez.
Ouch.
And that is a natural 20 to hit the actual Spleck.
I hope he dies.
Drop kicked by his own.
That is...
He's pretty good at kicking.
I rolled a natural 2 for damage on actual Spleck.
Never mind, he's not good at kicking. He's good at aiming.
Yeah.
1, and
I
then
can
that
kill
is another natural 2. So that is 4 damage
4 damage to me.
to
Okay.
you, as he doesn't have a bonus because he didn't use his cleaver. That was an unarmed strike.
Thank God.
So he just walks up, like kicking tiny little like dolls out of the way, just boots Spleck, and Spleck goes against a wall and then just kind of falls down, slides down, leaving a little blood smear. And you see like a tooth kind of roll past you, and then as you're like looking at that, you look up and the other boot just goes right into your face, and you likewise just kind of bounce off of what was the trapdoor lid. And he's like, "What the hell is going on here?" All right, that is normal Spleck's turn now. Real Spleck, OG
Does he bleed
Spleck.
Because if he does, I want that gold.
He is going to stand up. He mutters something, he snaps his fingers, and he actually turns invisible.
Spleck.
Yep.
Yeah, the real Spleck.
So you can take
Fake
little
Spleck should do that too.
normal Splecks.
Normal Spleck is back.
Normal
here
Spleck.
somewhere.
He turns invisible.
That's Spleck. Yeah.
Yep, and he's just off the field there for the moment.
Quick, run away.
Yeah. All right, and that's it.
Did you
So
move back into the room?
Knob,
Head.
it is your turn.
Hey, Shifty. Did you move back into the room when
Nobody's
you
there.
hid?
Yeah, she's in
Yeah, I'm in like near the boxes.
So
Okay, I'll just move
where would I be
these
hiding
boxes are over there.
then?
I don't know. Where would you be hiding? You have about
I
a
did empty a sack and I was grabbing food, so maybe I'm using the sack as a hidey next to the other sacks. I'm just gonna like hop out.
They're
so
the
keeping
only
my mouth
sacks
shut
in
right
this
now.
room are up on tables right now, and most of them look like they're ripped open, and like potatoes and onions are actually like kind of spilling out of them.
Oh,
what I was
I
thinking.
definitely took some of the onions. Those things are great.
Okay.
That's where I was going.
So what are you? You're up in the room, and you are currently inside of a sack
No. Just hiding behind it.
on the floor.
That's where I
No,
was
next to
going.
the other sacks.
You would have to crawl up onto a table to get up to the other sacks.
Oh. Yeah, no. Probably on the floor. But he didn't see me. So, I'm just going to throw one of my daggers at him.
Okay.
Actually, no. This guy gets the crowbar.
Okay. Yeah, so you can sneak up to him, and because he's engaged with some of your allies and did not see you, you definitely get sneak attack on that. So,
Do I get advantage?
If he flanks.
Because he doesn't know I'm there.
I'll give you advantage because he doesn't. He does not really see a crowbar attack coming from a sack of onions. No. Weirdly enough, he didn't wake up today and expect that.
No.
Oh, 7 and a 1.
Ouch.
Oh, that's bad. But still 14.
14 does not hit.
Crap.
So as you go to approach, wearing kind of the whole onion burlap sack, you go to pull out your crowbar, and it actually gets caught in the thread, and you're just trying to yank the crowbar out from your crowbar holster, and it's just not happening. You can't. It's stuck in there.
You want a second attack?
I stab him with my offhand.
So, if you would, Pez, would you move the
Yes.
cook over to where you guys are? The cook
Okay,
is
can you see
the
the cook?
dwarf-like
Okay.
figure.
I got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
This guy?
Yep, the
one
dwarf-like figure, the only one that doesn't resemble a goblin. He is over. He is in base-to-base contact with you,
Okay.
and the other one. Yep, and then
I will
we
flank.
have Knob. Yeah, we have Knob flanking, so Knob will be directly behind him.
Little guy.
I'm the little one.
I know, it's really hard.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have tiny little miniatures and a three-dimensional
This is the
terrain
cook?
piece.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's the
that
cook.
is the cook.
He's behind him.
Flanking.
Gotcha.
Benefits the audience, like, can only see half of it. So, and then you are hidden next to a wall, Shifty. So,
I got there.
okay, perfect.
Move the cat.
All right, so you still have movement left. As I,
I would
assume.
like to bonus action stab him with my knife in my offhand attack.
Okay, go for it. So you would not have advantage on this anymore, as he now knows you're there, since he saw a sack of onions move forward and just start autonomously moving by itself. So he is now aware of your presence. You still would
those are
you
some
still get
aggressive
sneak attack
onions.
as he is engaged with your allies. You just would not get advantage on this.
That's unfortunate, but that's fine. I seem to have rolled better otherwise. Yeah. 21.
That definitely hits.
Okay. Can't hit with advantage, but
It's the story of goblins. It
Gimme.
never works when it's supposed to. It always does when it doesn't.
ooh.
Well, you've confused a dwarf thinking there's some really, really
That
aggressive
is
onions.
16 points of stabbing damage.
16 points. All right.
I get him in the knee.
Oh,
Yeah, so as you come up, you actually, just giving up on the crowbar at this point, pull out one of your daggers from an easier holster across your, or sheath from across your chest, and you drag it down the back of his knee, actually cutting the back tendons of the knee, and he kind of buckles down for a little bit and lets out a very loud yell.
Oh, good.
All right.
And then I run away.
Stubbs, you get to the stable as you move. You kind of walk out of the material that you were walking through, and your form slowly shifts back into the material plane from the ethereal, and it instantly smells like horse dung and hay, and you are looking around, and you appear to be in a very small room for humans. The ground is actually very soft, nice, luscious hay. Like, this is a great place to take a sleep for a night or something. And there's a bucket with water over to your right, and you're like, hey, this might be where the humans sleep at night. This is a really comfy place. And then you hear a horse whinny from the other side of the door that you are looking at. You have no more movement because it took your movement to get to the stables. Is there any action that you would like to perform?
I'll sit down.
Okay.
It's really comfy hay.
It is very comfy hay. Yeah, and for what you're normally used to sleeping on, like, this is delightful.
Yeah, I'd like to relax for a second with some silence.
All right, Pez.
Yes.
You watch Knob go up and deal a hefty blow to this cook.
I
You
just got kicked.
watch a cat try to go headbutt open a door and then disappear.
So as he kicks me right in the face, I head snaps back and hey, that wasn't. You fixed my lisp. My jaw has been dislocated for so long. Oh, that's amazing. And about...
You gonna help or not?
I mean, she tries to... Crap, do I want to...
Low.
I'm gonna,
Get him, kitty.
who's over there? I'm gonna acid breath
Oh, God.
directly at him. Right in his face.
All right.
Sorry, I don't have a lisp right now.
So
Oh,
that is a 15-foot cone.
Uh-huh.
So who are you
Oh.
hitting?
Sorry. I'm hitting everything this direction. Whoever's there,
okay,
I'm gonna hit him.
Okay.
I don't
Glad I
care.
tried to be a box.
So I believe that is a dexterity save for
Yes, it
everybody
is.
who-
It's a dex
for
save. So
everybody
you'll
who is
be
in that cone.
fine.
I would have moved away.
That is a
Oh, yeah, no.
A million.
that is a 17 for the cook.
22.
He saves half damage to both of you.
That might not matter.
And 3d6 damage.
I got 9. You could kill me,
Yeah.
even with half damage.
I'd have to roll max to kill you.
And even then, it's still halved.
Roll low.
I rolled low. You're fortunate here. That's 5 damage halved, so 2.
All right.
Unless you're rounding up. 3.
That is 2 damage to everybody who saved, or 5 to those who didn't.
I will get you back.
Is-
You
is-
splashed my new vest.
So
Also, this is the most damage I've taken this whole trip.
is disguise self? No, it's just a 1 hour duration. It doesn't have a concentration. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Disguise
then-
self just goes. It's an hour.
I am. Acid breath is an action, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know which ones of these are bonus actions.
You
Most of them are not.
I believe almost none of you have ability bonus actions.
All
It
right.
was disgusting.
Your bonus action would be something more you interacting with the world, picking up something, opening a door,
Okay.
something that's
I'm gonna run for
normally
the door.
All right.
I'm gonna run for the door.
Oh, she gonna die.
Do I need to do a strength check to get out, or can I just assume
Not
I
in
knew
your
it?
in your
Okay.
goblin form. You're
The
fine.
door open.
So 5, 10. I'm pushing
It's
through the
Lena's.
door.
You might be
15,
able to
and
make it.
however far I get.
You go through the door, and as you go through the door, much like you saw before, the door itself
Yeah, I
enters.
wanna dive behind the counter.
Yep, opens up, and you're partly behind the bar. The door itself almost opens up right at the end of the bar. So to
Right.
your left, you have about another 10, 15 feet of bar space.
Okay.
All of the bar is you are easily able to hide under it, as
Okay.
it's tall enough for you. But as you go through, seeing from what part you can, because the bar is not obscuring your vision, you see a mass of people running out of the bar. Most of the farm hands or everyday casual people, and standing up, not running out, pulling out weapons, appears to be about 5 or 6 what look to be very hardy humans. You have heard about these humans before. They're humans that have weapons, dark knowledge and secrets, and people pay them to kill you guys. You think you've heard the term adventurers before?
Crap. And I dive behind the bar, and as I dive behind the bar, I whack my head and dislocate my jaw. I learned how to do this darn lisp. I'm gonna keep doing it.
All right.
Is that how that works? Just boop, 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 now I have a list.
Whack
Shifty.
from a dislocated jaw.
You watch as Pez, almost like really excitedly, starts talking without her lisp for a minute, and then starts coughing and like retching, and it's almost like watching a cat have a hairball, and then all of a sudden just sprays this purplish steaming acid over both the cook and Knob. And the cook kind of dives out of the way, blocking most of it with the table in the center of the room.
I dived out of
and-
the way behind the cook.
And in doing so, almost fully exposed Knob to this whole thing. And Knob, who was hoping the cook was going to block all of this, took the full brunt of the acid spray all over him. And then you see Pez just dart out the door, which you previously had tried to do.
So when she swings it open, is it now like doing the...
Yeah, it is. It is swinging back and forth, and I would say with a good athletics roll, you
Not
could
dexterity.
you could time it. Athletics is based off dexterity.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought acrobatics was.
Sure, acrobatics. The one that is based off of dexterity.
That's acrobatics.
Athletics is strength.
Yeah, they both start with an A.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm a professional DM. No. With a good enough
18.
acrobatics check. 18?
Yep.
Easy enough. So
the
you
timing.
timing it right, wait for it, and then just spring out through the door.
Parkour.
All right.
Parcat.
Our cat.
So as you do so, you see much the exact same thing that I just
Parkour.
described for Pez. And Pez is sitting there now, rubbing her jaw as she kind of hit her head again on the back of the bar.
Shucks.
And up above the bar,
hit you later.
you see 5 or 6 humans who are standing there. One of them is like donning a steel helm. Another one's kind of drawing back a bow. Another one who's got like a very long spear who goes over and grabs it from the wall and then kind of puts on a buckler.
Meow. Where's the door in this place?
The door to the tavern is probably about 30 feet through all of the people right now. And there's a very large mob of people who are just trying to pile out this door from the front of the tavern. Meanwhile, these 6 adventurers are all just kind of holding their ground, waiting for the rest of the people to kind of clear out.
Do I see any empty corners?
There are empty corners everywhere. Most people are streaming right to the front door.
All
So
right.
all of the corners are empty right now.
I'll just go wait until the crowd is not as dense and then try to make it through. So I just
You're just
going into a corner and waiting.
Okay. So if you go to that corner, you've got either the dead end, which is the bar, which you could probably hop up onto the bar and over, but then the other direction you have a little fireplace that's just sitting there. For reference for you, which we will bring to the audience here in a bit, it looks just like this. So you just come out right here. So you have a little fireplace right here, and then you kind of have like the dead end, which is the bar over here.
I'll go to the dead end
Okay, perfect.
behind the barrels.
That's
Okay,
where
perfect.
I am.
All right, the cook.
Try to get thumbs up.
The cook is going to turn around, focusing his aggression on the main source of his pain, which was the stabbing slice in the back of his leg. He's going to turn around, and this time with his cleaver, he's going to take a swing for you, Knob.
Bring it on.
That is 14 to hit.
Doesn't hit.
So as he
I duck.
gears back and has this huge meat cleaver, which is just dirty from all these vegetables and just all the leftover blood and viscous from the butchering. He brings it down on you, just dive out of the way quick enough, and he brings it slamming down into the stone floor, and sparks fly. And he just kind of lets out a grumble of frustration as he's just limping and holding his back leg with the other hand.
Did he not wash the cleaver before he started cutting the vegetables?
No, he's a terrible cook.
Dear God, he deserves to die.
Go
Medieval-
claw him.
I'm a cat.
That's why I said claw.
Medieval fantasy times, they weren't real big on
Black.
sanitation.
If I find Spleck, he is going to die. I will stab
yeah.
him in the face.
Shame.
Kind of like I did with you.
Alright,
Only I'll do it better.
Black,
this time.
you guys don't know where Spleck is, so Spleck's gonna go do that. Knob, it is your turn.
Oh, good. I'm going to use a smoke bomb.
All right.
I throw a smoke bomb on the ground and it causes me to vanish.
Yeah, so you take out this little black bead, chuck
Ninja
it on
vanish.
chuck it on the ground, and instantly it just explodes in this poof of kind of powdery black smoke. And in doing so, the entire room just is obscured. Everything's gone. You have vision in this, and
Yep.
nobody else does. This covers probably a good half of the kitchen, so you can easily get to the door if that's where you were going to
Now-
get out of there.
In previously using this item, do I know how long it lasts?
The smoke remains for about a minute before it slowly starts to kind of dissipate. Yep.
That's
and
good.
technically, everything in this is blind. So everything. So you have advantage on attacking anybody in this smoke.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab
and they
this
have
guy.
disadvantage in attacking you.
Oh, that was my action. Bonus action dagger.
All right.
This guy made me mad.
Give it an attack roll.
Does this count as sneak attack because I can't see him?
This count no, because he just gets the advantage on the attack is the bonus to this.
That is unfortunate. But that's still an 18 to hit.
That hits.
That is 6 points of damage.
6 points.
I'm gonna take a dagger to the face, and then I run away.
All right. Do you run out the door?
No, God.
Okay.
No. I'm
you
not
going?
dumb. I know what's out there.
Okay.
I can see
I moved to the corner.
So
He
watching
can't see me.
the cook now just waving his hands frantically, because he has completely lost all vision. He's just kind of looking for reference points. He puts his hand down on the table next to him. And he's kind of just waving his hand around, looking for you, almost making wide sweeps with his cleaver. And just watching this, you kind of wait, time it right, and then just jump in and you get him on the same leg, but in the front of the knee this time, just stabbing, almost crippling him in that one leg as he just lets out a roar of pain. And then you just kind of like giddily hopscotch your way backward away from him out of his range.
Oh, no
I used to
way.
be an adventurer
Into the
once,
dark.
and I took an arrow to the knee
I chuckle into the
Or a
smoke.
dagger.
or a dagger.
All right.
Shanked.
Stubbs.
I'd like to explore.
Okay. So it's about 10 feet. You walk up to the stable, or this particular little stall's doors.
Try to stay away from the horse.
You swing it open, and what you see is kind of a main thoroughfare down this stable. The door you just came out of, there appears to be like 4 or 5 of them on either side of this hall.
I turn and go down.
And there is one main door kind of to the west that appears to be the main door of the stable. And as you go through, you hear a couple horses. You hear one horse over in a stall. You hear what you assume is another horse's movement, but you can't quite identify what the movement is. And right before you get to the door, you see, which is going to be your movement. Go for it.
As I'm walking down, I just unlatch
All
all of them.
okay.
Just don't open them. Just unlatch them. Maybe crook them open a couple inches so if the horses are observant, they'll notice there.
Yep. And there's like a little latch pin for each one.
I pull them as I go.
Yep. And at about the end of your movement for this turn, you see a wagon that is inside the stable, and it looks to be mostly made out of metal, and it looks very intricate. Unlike most of the farmers' wagons that you guys are pretty used to raiding and ambushing out on the roads, this looks much different than those. This looks like it's very secure, very specifically meant for one job. And you see on the side a bunch of weird paintings, and you're not quite sure what the symbols are. So why don't you give me a intelligence check?
Let me find that on here.
Main attribute.
Okay. 15.
15. These symbols look like some of they look like a picture of some of the more radical and dangerous spells the shaman used to do. They look like fire. It looks like explosions on the side of this wagon.
So I've used one action to move.
You've used your movement to move.
Yep.
You've used your action to kind of inspect this wagon, and you're within touching range of this wagon. So I would say for your bonus action, you could probably open this wagon to see what's maybe in it, as it is kind of fully enclosed.
I agree with that. That's exactly what I'd like to do.
As you do so, the door swings open. There seems to be like a back door to this wagon, which is fully enclosed. And inside is a bunch of like wooden, like almost like beer bottle crates, and in each slot is a little red stick. It's got a string out of the top of it.
It's candles.
Okay.
All right, Pez.
Birthday party.
You watch.
Just like the movies.
You watch. a cat that leaps out from the swinging door that you just came from, kind of sits there, stares at you, looks back and forth, and then runs over to the dead end side of the bar and just kind of like huddles up and then at you. And then as you're like, oh yeah, that's Shifty, all of a sudden you hear this, and then you just see smoke start streaming through the seams of the door inside, and then you hear and that maniacal laughter coming through the door.
And to myself, I think, ooh, good one.
At this point, the most of the everyday commoners are out of the bar.
Okay.
So you're guessing, theoretically in the next 6 seconds, those dangerous-looking humans might start participating in things.
Right. So I'm behind the bar, the end of the bar, so that they can't. Nobody can see me at the moment except.
No, nobody has, as far as you know, nobody's registered having seen you yet.
Invisibility.
All right.
I am invisible.
All right.
I gotta mark off a spell slot. Where's my spell slots? There they are. There we go. Okay, so I am going to attempt to sneak out of here.
Okay. So,
Ooh, it's gonna
in
get
interest
scary.
of our fight moving,
Yes.
and you guys, Knob and the cook, being able to kind of go to the theater of the mind, as it's just the two of them now, we're going to bring in the other battle map.
Yay,
Okay.
battle map! Dun dun dun!
I'm picking this one up.
You can take all the minis out of that.
Yep.
What you can't
Yes.
see.
So we both dived behind the bar.
Oh, we still got to leave this one on here, though, because he's still in there with the cook, correct?
Yep.
Okay. But I'll put it back on after you set it there.
Here we go. Whee!
Take that in.
Yep.
Perfect. We're going to set that down. And then, Jasmine, if you would be so kind and tell us when we can kind of see the majority of this. All right, bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, as we've got our crew. As our crew is kind of lining up what we have for our battle map here. So the main focus of the camera, once we get that set up,
Go over the table.
the main focus of the camera is going to be on the bar here with all of our fellows. If we can get that.
I got it. Don't forget I can tilt this up, too.
Oh, you can.
Yep, I can tilt the camera. Okay, good.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so we
Cat
have.
is behind the bar.
Yep, we've got a cat who's going to be all the way against the barrels there. Yep.
I'm going to be right at the end of the bar, behind the bar, but yeah, right there when I go invisible.
Right there.
And
Okay,
now I'm going to try to
perfect.
sneak the crap out of here.
Pez-
Rotate
or, no.
No, just the camera.
Stubbs is over by the little wagon. After we get the camera situated here.
You guys keep going. I'll just keep adjusting.
Yep, he is on the. Yeah, perfect. All right. That sounds good. Okay, so
Excellent.
Pez, you
Yes.
turn invisible,
Poof.
and you have your 25 feet of movement.
All
So
right,
you
I'm
can
going to go
move
along the wall.
5, 10, 15,
Yep.
20, 25. Okay.
Okay.
And the front door is right there, and that appears to
can
be the
see
only
that.
door.
All right. That's what I'm going to do is just stay here as quiet as I can.
Not sure what that guy's doing. All right. Why don't you make me a stealth check at advantage, just so that way you don't bump into anybody or do anything that would
I
otherwise
should be
alert
okay.
anybody.
It's a 16 plus 0, so 16.
16. All right.
16 plus 0.
Yeah, pretty low DC as you're invisible. You're just kind of skirting off to the side.
Just not running into peoples.
All right. So that brings us back to Shifty, because you are Meow Meow Kitty Mix.
Yup. I'll try to.
I would say
Move.
it would take you 10 feet of movement, but you could jump up onto the bar counter, which would be easy enough. Otherwise, you're kind of trapped into that dead end right there.
Alright, I'll jump up here.
Okay, so that's 5 and then 15. So you have 15 more feet to move.
So jumping up on the tables would also be another.
Jumping from bar to table, I would say you can.
I mean,
yeah,
from-
because none of them are more than 10 feet apart. So yeah, as a cat, I would say that's pretty doable. So yes, you can jump. It's still going to cost you your movement to move
Right.
those squares, but yes. So yep. So now you are done. That is your movement.
Yep.
Okay.
Wait, no. I'm gonna go from here and then to over here.
Okay.
Just sit
Yep.
in one of the chairs.
Perfect. You jump onto one of the chairs.
Yep.
All right.
Pretend you're a cat.
So that brings us back
Has
to
Lucas.
the cook. The cook who is now coughing and spluttering from
Feline.
being fully engulfed in the smoke. Kind of makes his way around the table, which is in the middle of the kitchen, and comes out the door and into the bar. So you can put him right inside the bar there. And he just screams, "There's goblins in the kitchen! Kill them!" At which point all the adventurers are like, "Ooh, goblins in the kitchen!"
Yes, go in the kitchen.
Goblin in the kitchen.
Go in the kitchen.
Just the one.
We don't know where shit.
And
the other guy is.
he's
Spleck.
gonna move 15 feet toward the fireplace. Yep, right there. And he just kind of is holding his cleaver, and he's got his eyes just trained over the whole entire bar, looking for anything. He doesn't see squat because he is dealing with what is probably going to be a permanent limp for the rest of his life. Okay.
Poison in the eyes, smoke in the lungs,
Fuck.
bleeding leg.
Acid burns.
Should I roll a stealth check?
Lacerations in the knee.
You were not
And
being
in the
stealthy.
kneecap.
Oh, I was being a cat though.
Knee.
You are achieving being a cat very well, but you are achieving being a cat very well. So,
I'm a lupus cat.
all right. So, Pez, I
Yes.
need you to make me a perception check
Perception. My perception is crap.
just to see if you notice something.
Ooh, that's a 17 minus 4.
All right, so 13.
So 13.
So you watch as the front door to the tavern, where nobody's standing anymore,
Yes.
closes.
Shit. I mean, shoot.
All right, Knob, it is your turn.
If I go out there, they're gonna kill me. If I stay in here, I'm probably gonna die eventually. When I glanced out the door earlier, did I notice that there was anything I could hook a grappling hook onto? To swing from, maybe?
Pez was the only one who's ever who looked out the door earlier, but you've seen as people have kind of gone through the door and the door has swung open, you have seen what limited you can from your viewpoint. There are rafters running along the top, like the ceiling itself. There seems to be like a big chandelier with candles hanging from the top, which is the main source of lighting for the rest of the tavern. So, yes, there are easily things that you could grappling hook with your grapple crossbow to get to. And you could probably perch on top of them, but then from there you would be isolated up there, as there's like 15 feet between rafter to rafter, and that would be quite the jump for your little goblin form. And they're about 15 feet up in the air, so
Right.
you could, if you use most of your movement to run out into the bar, pull out your grapple crossbow, shot it, and hooked up, you could get up onto it, but you feel like you'd probably be fairly isolated up on them.
And then I wouldn't be able to really hide either.
You probably could, because it's fairly dark up there, but you get the feeling it'd be hard to hide up there.
Yeah, but there's also, that would make a lot of noise. 'Cause it's
There's
a crossbow.
there's a general amount of chaos as the cook is coming out. Now smoke is kind of filling up that side of the tavern. The adventurers, who are now very trained on that door, so that would kind of be the hard thing to see. But there's still a fair amount of chaos if you could think of a way to possibly get out of there or maybe create another diversion.
There was a window in here.
There is a window in that kitchen. It's about 5 feet off the ground. There are shelves below it, so if you could climb the shelves and probably get up and reach that window fairly easily.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to break it with my crowbar.
All right, so give me an athletics check, and yes, I mean an athletics check.
Oh, I'm so good at those. I don't have advantage on that. 11.
All right, you climb up there quite easily, and you get your crowbar into the single piece of wood, splitting the framing out the glass. You're gonna just smash it open?
Yeah.
All right.
Whap.
Yeah, you do so. You hit it, no problem, and that's about your movement, as that took most of your process to climb up the shelves themselves, get out your crowbar, and smash it. But yeah, you've got a nice goblin-sized opening.
That is the opposite of stealthy.
Looking out, you are looking into what appears to kind of be a courtyard, and you see just a mob of people running over a little stone bridge. You see kind of to your right, there appears to be another building with a very big door, and to your left, that would be pretty much, you're essentially looking at the stable. You do not know that it is a stable, but you're looking at the stable. Okay. And to the left, there's just a little tiny house. I mean, it's still huge in goblin standards, but it is a little building that appears to have not the double huge doors of the stable.
I will use my bonus action to dash out the window.
All right. So
screw this.
So 40 feet, wherever your mini is. Perfect. And then where are you headed? So there's about a 10-foot gap in between the stable and the kitchen. Yep. So where are you headed, Nob?
I don't know, somewhere I can hide. I guess I could hide in the stables for a minute.
All right,
just
so
for a second.
5, 10, 15 to the front door of the stables.
Oh, no, I don't want to be in the front.
There's the only the front door to that stable. It's the only way to get into the stable.
I see him.
No, the door is currently closed.
I mean,
Don't you have 5 feet of movement left? Because you were at 20.
that particular section looks like a good place to hide. I'll hide in there.
All right, so you go in through the stable, and in doing so, you see Stubbs.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, which you're a little confused because you just came through the only door to get in here, and somehow he's in here already. And Stubbs is sitting there holding what looks to be a red little stick cylinder with a piece of string hanging out of it.
Weird.
All right.
Please don't kill us.
Stubbs.
I put the stick thingy in my pocket that I was holding.
Okay.
Five, 10, 15, 20, 25.
All right. Are you in that house there? Or
No,
are you just on the edge?
I'm just on the edge.
Okay. Perfect. Yep.
I turn around and shoot magic missile at the cart.
All right.
Oh, no.
Roll damage.
Oh, crap. Oh, I am so glad I'm not in the kitchen anymore.
Jeez.
You're going to kill all of us. He just, craters the town here. All of the map is just gone.
It's going to be hard for adventurers to go looking if they don't have legs.
Really? 4.
4.
Into an open door that I opened and left open, remember, exposing.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. It shouldn't take much. 1 damage should do it. A lighter would do it.
All right.
Now you're doing magic missile.
Force damage versus...
I need
Magic
you to
damage.
make me a dexterity save, Knob.
Will it matter?
Yes, because if you save, that means you avoid the blast.
Oh, okay. I will try.
I'm really hoping for a big blast.
It is
I might make it. 21.
21. All right. You watch the magic missiles, which you think are going for you, whiz
Oh, you son.
whiz right by your face. And in like that slow motion classic, you look behind you and they like zip. One of them tags the side of the cart and the other one just zips inside what is the door of this cart. And for a second there, you're like, ha, you missed. And then you feel this concussive blast, which shoves you slamming against the house over there as
Probably
the stable is instantly grounded. So you can put that where the cart was. Perfect. As wood and straw and parts of horses just go flying everywhere.
I took the pins out of the doors. They could have walked out.
Quick, grab some meat.
For the remainder of the game, you are deaf.
Oh, no.
As somehow your
You
very
are now Batman.
as somehow your very nimble body managed to
Well,
like
Hawkeye.
contort yourself to not take damage, like a sleeping person who fell asleep at the wheel. Like you somehow totaled your car but didn't get hurt in the process. But
I've done that.
but you can just feel blood kind of dripping down as your eardrums both are decimated.
Right.
Good thing you have 2 healing potions.
Mop. Mop.
All right. Pez,
Yes,
it is your turn.
it is my turn. Did I hear this blast? What's happening in the room with me right now? Did the adventurers hear it?
You needed more damage.
Are the adventurers responding to that at all, or
To
am
the
I?
blast?
To the
Yeah.
giant explosion?
I just need to know if the door, if they're gonna. Okay.
Yeah,
No.
most everybody hits the deck. The adventurers who had previously a rather eager expression on their face, like, ooh, some stress relief after a hard day of work. We get to kick some goblins around. Most of the windows on that side of the tavern are shattered inward as a fireball lights up the night sky.
Am I next to the window?
And you watch as a horse leg actually flies through one of the windows and like
Ooh, snacks!
and like confetti, straw just kind of shoots in along with the glass and just slowly wavers down to the ground.
Pre-roasted
and
snacks.
and the cook is like, what the hell?
All right. Am I close to a window?
We're ready for these goblins.
I can't see it because there's a
Yeah,
wall in the way.
you are actually close to a window. Yes.
Is the door? The door is closed,
Yep.
and what would I have to do to get out the window? Would it be an athletics, or would that be athletics to get out the window?
The window's actually low enough you could probably crawl out of it. It would count as
Okay.
difficult terrain, so it would take 10 feet of movement to get out of the window. Looking out the window, there is that little stone fence. It's kind of a little ramshackle stone fence that also would be difficult terrain to get over, but...
I look at the door. I look at the window. I look at the door. I climb out the window.
All right. Yeah,
I'm out the window.
Easy enough. You climb out the window. You're now stuck in between the building and the little
fine.
stone wall there. Yeah.
Yes. I am going to, and I know the front doors of it. I'm going to
Go
head,
through this window?
wherever was closest to.
Yeah, that one.
All right. How much of my movement do I have left?
You have 15 feet of movement left.
I am going to move this way, 15. Then I am going to.
Using that
And
logical
that
deduction to
that
realize
stone
that maybe the explosion is your allies.
Well, I mean, actually, less smart than that. It's because the front door's over there, and the adventurers will probably come out it. I'm invisible, but
Makes
I don't wanna get stepped
logical
on.
sense to me.
so smart, not wise. But do I want to do anything? I think I just want to dash.
Okay.
Do you use your action?
Yeah, I'm going to use my action to dash because I don't have anything I need to do. 10, 15, 20,
25.
25 to there. Right.
Yep.
I
So
can see your buddy.
you see your friends. You see
Okay, 25 would be
you see
45.
Knob, who looks to be in like this little bloody puddle, and he's just walking around saying mop. And you see Stubbs, who's like, ooh.
Pretty. No, I say nothing.
You see a mob of people who have now mostly gotten over the bridge, and now most of them have turned back, and like people are hands to mouth, like, "Oh my god!"
Okay.
And just
Fireball.
People here? Is that what we're saying?
yeah, probably a little bit off what is that battle map there, but yeah, they're you now have a good group of about 30 to 40 people who are just watching this mushroom cloud
Back here, closer to your
above the
elbow.
stables.
Oh, okay.
Like this vicinity.
Yeah, right about there.
Vicinity. That's fun to say. Okay.
All right.
That's good for me.
All right. Shifty.
Oh boy.
Narrowly dodging a horse leg, which falls onto the table above you.
Oh jeez, good thing I didn't land there.
Yep.
So I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. So I go here.
Yep. You can't quite get out that window, as that counts as difficult terrain. So you would have to stop right before it. You still have 5 feet of movement, but you don't have enough to get it out that window. So you could move 5 feet to your left or right,
Alright.
but it requires 10 feet to get
I
out
have
you
that
my
could
window.
dash.
action to dash.
Or you can
So,
dash.
out the window, if the river part here is moving this way, does that mean that the ocean is this way?
You have no idea that there is a river out there.
Right. Yep. So, this would be 10,
Yep. That'd be 10,
10,
15,
15, 20, 25, 30.
30. Yep. Right about there. And you just can get your head around, and you see, you don't see Pez. You see, actually, you hardly even see Stubbs. You just see Knob, who is sitting there, kind of mop.
And I will hide.
So where are you at?
Okay.
I'm just like
don't
right in the
you don't
corner
have
of
a
these
bo-
areas.
you don't have a bonus action hide. You used your action to dash.
Oh, so
Yep.
I'll just stand there
So
then
you're just
as a cat.
you're just being a cat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meow.
Me.
All right. It is.
Are you a Nyan or a Mao or?
I'm not very
I'll
good
just blast
conversationalist
it.
as cat, so it just comes out as
No,
yeah.
it's like a missile.
Yeah, okay.
It's a straightforward.
Nice.
All right. So the cook.
Good to know.
Duck
It's
from
got-
explosion?
2D.
3.
She wrote it down.
Well, you guys are all out of the end, so you guys don't necessarily. You don't know what's going on in there. So
Should I move these people?
no, because you guys can't see them. So as far as you know, they're where they are right now. So I did 15, 20.
Yeah. I was not
Um,
about.
Shifty, you hear the front door kind of rattle, and you, looking back really quick, you see that there's just a bunch of like debris and like a stick wedged underneath the handle from the outside of the tavern, like forcibly barricading the door closed.
Whoa.
Yep. And then as you look back, you're like, huh, that's weird. Who would have barricaded? And then this rock that you didn't see up above you drops on your head, and sitting there, popping back into visibility, is Spleck, who just dropped a rock on your head and deals 4 points of damage. So you pop out of cat form, as your cat only has 2, and you
So-
roll over 2, so you're at 6. Yep. And you are now goblin form.
Death by squirrels?
Yep.
And where is little purple goblin?
I don't like being hit in the head. I
Yep,
still
so he's
have
right
the mark.
behind the cat. Yep. And then where is your goblin token? Goblin. Okay. You keep that. That's your animal form. As Spleck drops the rock on you, is like, "You are horrible goblins. I hate you all."
Map.
All right. Wow. And you just hear in rapid succession, just like sword blows, blunts, just slams and curses as the door of the tavern is just barraged by hits and people you assume just trying to break down the door. I didn't roll anything above a 3 for all of them.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Those are some high quality adventurers right there.
Knob, it is your turn. You can't hear anything. The world has gone to a very peaceful quiet.
Then I guess I don't need to do this voice anymore.
You talk, but you're just like 8 octaves too loud now.
I don't really know what's going on.
Is that like the Muppet version of yourself?
You're goblins. You're all Muppet versions of yourselves.
Just a Muppet version of a goblin.
I'm right next to you, but I'm invisible.
We should get out of here. I don't know where to go. And I can't hear any of you.
What are you doing with your movement or your action?
Can I see the water?
Yeah, you can see the water from where you are, and you see that it is flowing actually in the direction that you feel like you came from, like you traced the sewer line the opposite direction the water is flowing. Like that water is where Spleck was probably cleaning dishes before, or ties into it, which is essentially northward.
But is that where the ocean would be? I have no idea where I'm going.
Give me. You can use your action to make a survival check to try to figure out where the ocean is.
So good at that.
I'm the best at it.
But you are currently rattled like a spray paint can from being launched about 20 feet out of what used to be the stables.
Uh-huh. I really have no idea what to do. Can I see that?
Yeah, it looks like a pretty clear line of vision right there.
You don't quite know what that is over there.
Is this where we came into town?
You guys came into town underground from the north, which is toward the audience.
Okay.
Yep. And you went south down that sewer line.
Okay.
Okay, so
this is a different
technically we need to go that
Yes,
way.
this river and this bridge has nothing to do with the ones that you guys interacted with earlier.
Okay,
Okay,
then I'm
that was
going
my
to
question.
ignore that direction because if I remember, I should know
And there's a giant mob of people down that direction.
down that way.
Yes, that is
Oh,
where
we're
all the
not
people.
going that
That
way.
is
I'm
where all the
going
people are.
This way. So I'll curl around the fence.
Okay, you see Shifty, who is now currently sporting a very good goose egg on top of her head, and you see Spleck, who is now picking up again this rock like the size of a goblin head, and looks like he's going to again bash her.
You! I'm gonna hit him with a crowbar.
My brain.
Okay.
So you got to move around again.
No, he's there. Your attack is going to be at disadvantage because you are currently trying to attack over Shifty. There's literally not enough room in between this wall and this tavern.
How high is the wall? Can I see over
Yeah,
it?
can
No,
I-
no.
could I
This
get
the
on?
wall is about 5 feet tall.
Okay.
Could I get on the wall?
How much movement do you have left? 5, 10, 15?
20,
You can
25?
just get on top of the wall. Yes, and then I would say, your attack is
Just
at
like swing down and
is that normal?
Hook him with the
Put him on
crowbar.
the. Put him on the.
Perfect.
I'm not a fan of him.
Clearly.
We could have done this quietly. Now I can't hear anything, so as far as I'm concerned, this is as quiet as it's gonna get. 20.
20? You hit.
And I have an ally nearby.
You do. You need to do 3 damage.
Oh, he's dead.
All right.
I bean him so hard it knocks him clean off his feet.
And he just kind of ricochets off the tavern wall, off the wall, off the tavern wall, off the wall. Yep.
Yeah, I had 3 damage just on my regular dice. I get a +5 and then a +8 for sneak attack.
He is squawked.
Yeah. That's permadeath.
And then I loot his body for the gold I gave him.
That would be your action, and him being prone on the ground, he is way too high, or way too far down onto the ground from you. You would have to
I bonus action dash to get back down
Which direction? On top of his body?
on top of his body.
All right, you're sitting there on top of his body.
Okay.
All right,
Cool, buddy.
Stubbs.
Hey, help me find the way out.
You're being way too loud.
I hear the
can't hear you.
commotion.
Oh, you saw you saw Knob jump up onto the wall and then start beating on something on the other side of it.
So you basically get 3 actions, right? I'm trying to remember how to play.
You have your movement,
Yep.
you have your action,
Action.
and then you have your bonus action. So your action is typically an attack
What are
to help somebody.
bonus actions here?
None of those spells are bonus actions.
None of this is bonus actions.
All of that is an action.
Okay. So I can only do one of those, basically.
Yes.
Changes everything. How about these 2 over here?
Those are your attacks, so that's just an action.
So I could do one of those plus one of these.
You can only do one of those. All of those are
period.
Yep, all of those are
Okay.
pretty much an action.
And none of those are bonuses either, is what you're saying.
None of those are bonuses.
All right.
Correct. Your bonus, which is a little bit different than
Okay.
standard D&D. Your
that's cool.
bonus here is more you picking up something, lighting something on fire,
Okay.
throwing something.
Okay, that's fine. I move around the corner.
Yep.
Right over here.
You see, I splek.
Right.
You splick, splick.
I agree with Split. You are terrible goblins. And I
Why?
Eldritch blast him in his face.
Wouldn't it be a disadvantage because it's a ranged attack up front?
Technically, he's not where he is.
He's
so
up here on the
Yeah.
fence.
So Stubbs,
Did you land on his
you're
body?
you're actually
Yeah, I'm on the
back
body.
because you can't quite get where you are. So you're back one. You're
Well,
You're-
I moved up because I thought you were on the fence. That's the
Oh,
only reason I
yeah.
did it.
no, he's on the other side of the fence. So you're
Then,
you've got Shifty in between the two of you. You got Shifty in between the two of you.
yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yep. And then if you're Eldritch blasting Knob,
Yeah.
then that is not at disadvantage because you technically have Shifty in between the two of you.
So it is at disadvantage against him?
It's at It's just a straight attack. So you're just
Oh.
making a spell attack. Yep. So
Yeah.
you're rolling D20.
Okay.
Don't get a natural 1, please.
And it's a +7 to attack bonus.
Yep. So you're rolling D20. You're trying to beat his armor class.
Not a natural 1.
No, it's 15.
Just hits.
Just hits.
Ouch.
1d10 plus 2.
Yep.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. First character death. First character death.
Oh my god. 4.
I'm still up. 2 hit points. Now I'm mad.
You were already mad. You've been angry this whole game. So, woo, now he's mad.
It's a personality thing.
The guy with anger management
bad.
issues is mad.
It's Batman. Always mad. Always mad.
It's Batfleck.
Knob.
I haven't been mad. I've
No,
just
not
been
at all.
grouchy. There's a difference.
It's just a grouchy the
So,
whole
all right,
time.
and then I get a bonus action or something, but I can't.
Yeah,
really
your
do
bonus
much of
action
it.
would be interacting with the world in some way.
I don't know. That sucks.
You still have 10 feet of movement if you would like to move.
I should have
No,
rerolls.
you still have 2 healing potions.
That's what I wish I had right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is 2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just back out around the corner again.
Right.
At least to
If
there.
he's in my range, don't I get an opportunity?
If you are going to attack him, then yes, you would get an attack of opportunity if you wanted to assault the person moving out of your area.
Yeah.
I would say probably not because his attack wasn't against you.
Right. Just kind of look
But
at
that
him.
is kind of a gray zone area where he is an ally, but then again, none of you are allies. So, Pez,
Yes.
it is your turn. You watch
Yes.
all of this. You watch so much chaos. But you watch Stubbs go around, say what he said, and then kind of chant this, like, broken syllable as opposed to kind of how you emanate magic. And he just unleashes this chaotic lightning bolt from his hand, which strikes something that kind of gives out a yelp. Ow!
Just hits you directly in the ears.
I think to myself, screw you guys, I'm out of here. And I'm going to run for this fence. So, come here. 5, 10,
Drown in the
15,
And that is technically ground on the other side of that white little
Yeah.
section right
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, that is technically ground.
From here by the fence, I can see that there's people coming.
There's
Are
nobody's
they're not
coming. They're all just standing there.
They're just
Yeah.
standing there. Okay. And I can see the water. Which way is the water flowing?
The water is flowing north toward the audience.
That seems really weird.
I know. It's an irrigation ditch.
Nikes, would I know that?
You
smart,
have
but I'm
no
not wise.
you have no concept of irrigation. No, you
Okay.
do not.
All right.
Irrigation is cleaning out one's ears.
Well,
Give me a perception, or actually give me a intelligence check.
just straight
'Cause you,
intelligence.
yeah, because you see it.
That's a natural 20 plus 1.
Okay. Looking right across the bridge, you see a very weird, confangled contraption.
This
It-
thingy over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like a very large iron tube on wheels, and next to it are a bunch of what look like metal balls and a couple barrels.
Okay.
For the audience sake, it is a cannon.
If you didn't know.
Yeah, we don't have a camera. I don't think goes.
I
over
don't
there
know if
yet.
the audience can actually see that in the back.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, you can totally remove that horse because that horse is currently fertilizing most of the ground around it.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
It looks like a unicorn.
I am going to.
Bargain is fun.
I'm still invisible. Would it be 5 or 10 to get up on here?
It'd be 10 to jump up on that
Crap, I
fence.
can't get up there then. Okay. I am going to. Crikey. She wouldn't know any better, so she's gonna see the water flowing this way, and she's gonna say, "Water flowing goes towards ocean." Okay. And she's going to take a step this way. I'm gonna prepare to. That's 25. And she's gonna go that way. She's gonna dash. 5, 10, 15. And she can't. Can she get around between that hedge and the water there?
Yeah. That'd
Okay.
be fairly easy with your
25. Okay. So she'll be right over there.
running on the banks of the water.
Except there's a hedge.
There is. Yes.
Crap.
You could
So
either,
she's
you could
stuck.
either next turn you could probably climb over that hedge easily
Okay.
enough, or the river itself,
Onto it.
like it goes underneath that hedge. Like the hedge has overgrown over the top of the little river.
Ooh. Okay.
But
Okay.
quartered
Thank you.
speed or
That's
half
it.
movement.
Shifty. It is your turn. So you watched a very interesting turn of
Gotta get a
events.
ship.
Pez, or Spleck, came over and bashed you top of the head, which dropped your cat form, and then you watched all of a sudden Knob come over and kill your assailant, and then all of a sudden another goblin came over and killed the assailant of your assailant.
Tried to, anyway.
My assailants. Do you know which way the ocean is?
Mop.
Giant lizard. I'm gonna turn into a giant lizard.
Okay. You do so.
Oh my
You
god,
can-
it's a crocodile.
You can use your hyena because I do not
Yep.
have a giant lizard.
This is a lizard.
Perfect.
Hairy lizard.
That's a first
turning
lizard.
turning into one of the largest forms that you have, you turn into a what is essentially like a riding lizard. It is a giant lizard growing a big tail and a reptilian-like mouth and dropping down onto all fours. You turn into a giant lizard.
Would I
like
be
a
able to
monitor
like
lizard or
smell the
something?
air and tell which way the ocean is because I'm a druid?
You could give me a perception check. Does your lizard have smell as a perception? I believe your bear does.
Yeah, nope. Giant lizards have bite.
Then it
That
does
is a
not have
spider.
it does not have advantage on smell. So
I
you
did roll a
get
natural
that.
20.
on your perception,
Yeah.
you smell water coming from your right
Forgot which way right is. It's that way.
toward where the water is. You smell water coming from your water
smell
from
the
the
river.
water.
So it's that way.
You smell the river
You smell water coming from the direction of the water.
Yes.
right here.
Of course.
Yep.
The water direction. So I'll scoop him up.
Okay, so you need to make a grapple check unless he is a willing participant.
Are you willing? I haven't attacked you this whole time.
Did you ask
I'll
him in
allow-
lizard?
Slither. I don't think you would have heard.
I can't hear anything, so
Yeah.
I would know. I wouldn't know.
So
but
so Shifty, who
If you
turns into a giant reptile.
Actually, no. I would have turned
How do
back
you
around.
how do you scoop him
seen
up?
that and went,
I just like put my nose down and go between his legs.
So you see Shifty turn into a giant lizard and then head first start running towards you in a like lowered motion.
After one of your other teammates just attacked you.
Yeah, but surprisingly enough, my character has a thing for fuzzy animals.
Yes,
The
lizards.
fuzzy lizard.
But she likes squirrels, so I'll allow it.
All right, so
This time?
you have half movement.
As a riding lizard?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. Sweet.
You're not a riding. Well, you are a giant lizard, which for any other name is typically a riding lizard, but you have no training nor have ever actually borne passengers as a riding lizard. So it is half movement to grapple drag somebody, which is essentially what you're doing.
I mean, Komodo dragons
So
are
I will
technically
then-
giant lizards, and
So you
you
have-
wouldn't ride those.
So you have 20 feet. So you grapple him.
No,
So you
my goal was to go under him.
okay. So
the head goes between the legs and whips him up onto her back.
So
That's what
you-
she's- I
yeah,
think
She
that's
can
what
move
she's
through my space. That's not a problem.
it's not a problem. It's just that it is such a tight space that a giant lizard would have a difficult time doing this. So, yes, you can do that. I'll say that it takes you difficult terrain to get through him, so it takes 10. So you have
5, 10,
fit.
15,
Yep, 20.
25, 30, 35, 35.
40 as a lizard. Nope, you can't get up on top of the wall. That is difficult terrain. Yep, there you go. Actually, you're a lizard, so you have spider climb. So yes, you could get up on top of the wall if you wanted to, but
I will.
that's
I'll
gonna
just
look
And
very
lizard.
interesting. Okay, there you are. You good?
Yep.
Okay. It is now the cooks and the
Oh,
adventurers'
wait, no,
turn.
I have my action. I could have moved then too.
Yeah. Do you want to dash?
Yeah. Wait, no. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
40 all the way to the wall.
35, 40. Yep.
Okay. All right. So, all of a sudden behind you, you guys hear the front door of the tavern just slam open.
Don't hear it.
Don't hear it.
That took me a second.
All of a sudden, I don't hear the door slam open. They go chasing after a lizard. Your sacrifice will be noted.
As all of a sudden a stream of very angry, armored individuals come out. Most of them wielding what look to be melee weapons. The cook now is sporting what looks to be a very hefty crossbow. And one of them, who looks more elven, has a longbow. So, the cook is going to lower his crossbow, and the first thing he sees is a giant lizard. So he is going to take a shot at the giant lizard. And that is 18
Yes.
plus 6. So that is 24 to hit.
That hits even more.
Okay.
How many hit points do you got as a lizard?
12.
That is 12 points of damage as I rolled a 6 on a d10.
I'm no longer a lizard.
As the crossbow bolt, he levels it. He's like, "Get off my lawn!" and shoots the crossbow.
I'm trying.
The bolt flies through the air, hits your lizard form, and for the second time tonight, you feel your form just melt away as you have sustained too much physical damage to hold it.
This is fine.
The other one, the half-elven individual with the longbow, draws back, sees the cook going for the lizard, looks around really quick, and that is a natural 1, and doesn't see anything else as the lizard kind of rolls over into death and slowly starts transforming back into a goblin, the half-elf just assumes the cook killed it, and so just kind of keeps the arrow held and is looking for any movement. All right. It would be Spleck's turn, but Spleck is Splecked, so he's off the initiative order.
Can I see the book? Does it have like animal things?
Knob. It is
Has
your
some
turn
animal
as
stuff.
you see all of these adventurers come out, and you watch this half-elf individual who is glancing around actually look down the alley in your direction and kind of miss you really quick.
Okay. I'm going to, because I can't see, and I don't know if I'm going to be stealthy enough for this, but I'm very, very hurt. Is it an action or bonus action to drink a potion?
It is an action to drink a potion.
Crap. I need to hide. Everybody's trying to kill me. The only one not trying to kill me left me. Disappointment. That's scary. Can I get around this section? Like to the back
Yeah,
here?
so the kitchen is technically attached to that tavern right there, but yeah, there is that 5-foot channel in between the stables and the kitchen itself that you can go through. Technically, It's a much bigger channel now, as most of the stable is non-existent.
Yep. I'm going that way.
right.
Around this way.
How much movement?
Are you being stealthy in doing so?
Yes.
Okay.
That was almost bad. Ooh. 24.
All right.
So I'm going this way around the kitchen.
How much movement you got?
That is the third time this campaign you have rolled a 24 for stealth. That is impressive.
25 speed, and then I will bonus action dash 10 more feet.
Well, your bonus action dash is your movement plus an additional 10. It's slippery, remember? So
Oh.
when you bonus action dash, you
An
get
additional-
your
okay.
you get
Then,
your
yeah.
25 feet plus 10. So you move.
That was a lot
So
more than I
you're
thought.
So he needs to move another 25.
15, 20, 25, 5, 10.
You have to take it from there.
You're like right there. You're like right
way
there.
back here.
Yeah.
And I will down a potion if I can.
All right, as your action, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's 2d4 plus 2. Actually, I think I made that rule that they just heal you to full.
Oh, right, because
Yep.
we have 9 hit points.
Yep. So that heals you to full.
It's good. I needed that. So I run off and disappear into behind the kitchen.
All right, you're not off the map though yet, are you?
No, I'm just behind the kitchen,
Okay.
hiding behind the wall,
Okay.
probably in a bush or something.
All right, Stubbs. Much the same. You watch all these adventurers come out. You watch the cook kind of growl as he kicks open the front door that was previously barricaded, and he kind of snaps around, looks really quick, and then drops to his one good knee, levels this rather monstrous-looking crossbow, and shoots. And you kind of hear like this, which you assume is the lizard that ran off in that direction.
Because lizards sound like that.
Good.
And then you watch as Knob actually runs by you and goes around the bend of that. What's the range of what?
Eldritch Blast.
It is 120 feet.
Cool. Never mind. We can keep going. That's all I was curious about.
The adventurers who are standing there are currently... They look hungry for their next target.
Yeah. No, I figured that.
There is also, just for your reference, there is an entire building right
Yeah,
there
I
underneath
know,
that piece
I
of
know,
paper.
I know. There's no line of sight there, I know. I'm going to sneak over here to my dead other goblin that died, Spleck.
Spleck. Okay.
And then resurrection. Bring one creature back to life with 1 HP. I must be touching them.
All right. So, as you walk around the corner,
I hope
you kind of
Nick's
you
playing
kind
a
of
long
reach
game
out.
here.
You reach out to the spirits of the afterlife, and kind of grasping around in that world between worlds, you find Spleck's spirit. Spleck's spirit. That's fun. And
Spirit?
yeah, and you grab him from his now spiritual vest as he got it back in the afterlife, and you bring him back. And at first he resists, and then he says, "Vengeance. All right." And you bring him, and he enters his body, and just his chest heaves in a breath of air as his eyes snap open, and he looks at you, and he goes, "Why? Why?"
Spleck, calm down. I'm not the goblin who's trying to take your vest or gold or kill you. I agree my companions are terrible.
Everybody's terrible.
We all are. I only want to know one question.
What?
Where are the boats?
They're over the bridge.
Thank you.
They're by the cannon.
Well, the fellow that tried to kill you and did kill you,
Yeah.
he ran back behind the kitchen.
Oh. All right.
I fist bumped Spleck.
Are you trying to punch me?
Nope.
Are you...
In our tribe, it's a weird, handshake.
Oh, okay. He, fist bumps you. Yeah. That guy doesn't know what we messed with. I learned a couple things from the shaman before I got banished. Oh, he's mine. Spleck is going to re-roll initiative.
Yeah.
Chaos. So much. Yeah, see, I'm afraid of this one. Honestly, you guys pretty straightforward in your vengeance and your evil machinations. This one, though, plays long games.
I just have to make sure that they
That's why I've
won't
been
see
avoiding
me.
him.
My problem is I can't hear anything, so I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm.
You know I'm thinking of the
stabbed.
end.
Yes, I do.
All right. Pez.
Yes.
You hear a general commotion coming from behind you in the direction that you came from, but you have no vision to what it is. You're not
Yes.
quite sure
And I'm still invisible.
what shenanigans are happening over there. But
Okay. So, I'm going to keep moving. 5, 10, and now this goes under here.
yep, it's like a lazy river at a water park.
Nah. Water. Ugh. So I'm gonna try to do like the Mario Brothers on the what is it, the chicken wire fencing? Those where you climb up and down.
Sure.
I'm just
Sure. You're gonna Assassin's Creed platform over.
just gonna like crawl across.
All right.
Prince of Persia, that shit.
Make me
Please tell me that
a
makes a lot of noise.
Why not? I'm gonna fail and fall in the water. but-
acrobatics check.
Okay.
What? Not an athletics to climb?
No, please, acrobatics.
It's less climbing and more like being able
5.
to hold on to hedge.
5.
5.
Yes.
Okay.
Water.
You grab like a little squishy bunch of leaves,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Yeah, this is easy."
Yeah, I can
And
do
then,
this.
or sorry, you have a lisp.
Yes.
And so then you like kick your foot into the hedge, almost like half disappearing into the hedge, Simpson style. And then you're like, "Yeah, I can just like swim through this." And so like you grab another one, and the leaves all just shear off, and you tumble head first. Your legs actually hitting on the bank
Ow.
as your head just goes underneath the water, and you splash in the water. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Just breathing
full
through your
submerge. You
nose.
just slide down the bank into the water itself.
All right. So then that's probably what, another 5, 10 for movement.
That is 10 feet to get out of there. Yep.
Okay, so I think I've got 5. Well, I'm going to dash anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of there. So that's 10, 15.
And you notice as you crawl up, you're leaving behind very wet footprints.
Yeah.
Stealth.
From here, what's this way? What can I see this way?
Actually, going over that bridge, what you see is you're kind of on the outskirts of the rest of the town. There's a good mob of people who are just watching the tavern burn. not mostly the stables, but there's a good cluster of people. Some of them are running back to their houses. It looks like it's slowly dispersing, but a lot of people are just sitting here watching the chaos. But you're looking at a main road that looks like it goes down kind of on the outside of town. You're still within the wall of the town itself,
Okay.
but probably about 120, maybe 150 feet, you see a dock and you see sails. Standing between you and the dock and the sails is a good cluster of about 25 people. And they are dispersing and going down this road. So getting through the cluster of people, you are still then like playing Frogger as people are walking down that street.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of my movement then to finish off the rest of the way here. So that was what, 5, 10.
You were at 15, so you have 10 feet of movement left, unless you want to dash.
I'm just making sure I can. I think that's right. Yeah. So I should have 10 left. So 5. You said there's barrels and balls, like all
Yes.
the accoutrements for a.
Oddly enough, there is weirdly a cannon sitting there with all of the instruments and devices needed to fire said cannon if one had the knowledge to do so.
But I don't have the knowledge to do so. But
You
okay.
You
I
could
can't
make
do
an
anything.
intelligence check to see if maybe you understood.
I want to see if an intelligence check to see if I understand the barrels.
Does
What
it
the
fire
barrels are
how
for.
it's-
Okay.
Does it fire how it's pointed?
That's a 15
Does it set it
plus
correctly for-
Yes.
1
15
for
plus
intelligence.
15 plus 1 for what this barrel is.
Yeah, 16.
Right. As you kind of crawl up out of the river and you're like shaking yourself off like a dog from the water, and you kind of look back over this weird metal cylindrical contraption, and you look at the metal balls, and you look back at the barrels, and you're kind of thinking about it, and then all of a sudden the smell hits you. And kind of deep in the dredges of your memory, you remember that there's a smell from the ships. When you one time watched 2 of these human boats out on the big blue wet thing, they were fighting each other, and there were big plumes of smoke and extremely loud retorts. And it smells like that. And all you can associate is
Explodey powder.
this smell reminds you of explodey powder.
Explodey powder. Okay. All right. That's my turn. I use my action to run, so
All right.
nothing I can do.
Shifty.
Okay.
We are back up at the top of the initiative order.
Where was Spock land?
Couple questions.
Spleck rolled a natural 19.
Jeezums. So, can I turn into an owl? Just like an elf owl, the tiniest owl in the world?
You can turn into small rodents.
Bats.
Negative.
Bats are rodents. And it says
Yes,
here
but they
that I
have-
can turn into a bat.
But you can't.
Does it say that you can turn into a bat?
Yeah, it says, right, yep.
On your
Rats,
small
weasels,
forms?
bats.
Talk to food.
Oh,
That's what you can talk to.
never mind.
Your small form allows you to turn into small mammals or small little creatures.
Oh, bats don't count as mammals?
They do, but they have a fly speed.
Alright.
So you can turn into things that don't have a fly and or swim speed. That has 2 HP and is tiny.
Guess I'm just... What's the range on the summoning squirrels?
30
Squirrel
feet.
Storm? So I can cast it over here and then make it move? Because it says I can make it move.
You can cast it on a target. So it's basically like an attack spell, and then using, I believe, your bonus action on subsequent turns, you can direct it to attack something else within 30 feet of where you cast it from.
Alright.
So it's like a continuous damage over time. It's a dot, basically.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yep, you can hit almost anybody of those front 3 who are standing right there.
Which one was the one with the long bow?
That one with kind of the falchion who's sitting there and the very
The elfy looking one.
the very
Blonde?
elfy looking one. Yep.
I'll hit her.
All right.
Just make a dexterity saving
Dex
throw.
saving
15.
throw. I gotta look up my adventurer stats.
Shooting bad.
That is 19.
Ah, she saves.
All right.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage.
and I will run away over the bridge and that way.
So as you encant, just from the shadows comes this swarm of fur, which crawls up around her legs and just starts just covering her, and she just starts batting at her face as just a bunch of squirrels rapidly just climb up her body and just start tearing into her. She drops the longbow and is just screaming and taking squirrels and just throwing them off of her. They're like splatting against the wall and just everywhere, and as they do, just more seem to manifest from the shadows. It's like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Squirm heathen, and I'll run that way.
So that's 10 feet.
So 10, 15,
Yep.
20, 25.
25.
And then you're at the river, or the ditch.
So you are on the bank of
I
the
can't
river
jump
there.
into the water?
You have no more movement to do so.
I'll...
You are standing at the bank of the water, like mid-stride, jumping in the water.
And I'll just try to hide. I'll be a tree.
Okay, you action pose freeze, like a flash mob.
So you can use your bonus action to move again.
You can use your action
Action
to
to move
dash.
again. Only
rogues.
rogues have the ability to dash as a bonus.
All right.
As a bonus. Okay.
Splek
Rogues
actually
is
now
speed.
goes before anybody else. So Splek, who was resurrected,
Back.
Screw you, Splek.
Splek is right here.
1 hit point.
I hope he runs up to
One
the
hit
adventurers
point.
and kills himself.
And kills himself.
Because they're like, ooh, goblin.
Death to the goblins.
Goblins.
Splek, who used invisibility.
I'm assuming then the healing of damage doesn't get rid of deafness.
Deafness? No, you still have that condition. It repairs your eardrums, but your eardrums are so messed up from that it just repaired them wrong.
That's not good.
All right, Splek. I'm trying to think here. Okay, Splek is going to go 25 that way.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
That's one more.
One more. 25.
He does not have line of sight.
No, I'm like
Yeah.
around the back. He's only got 1 hit point.
He does.
It's good to know. I mean, what?
I know.
I love watching my things in action.
I know.
Especially because I put up his brain to do something with it, which is great.
Splek is going to
All right.
Splek is going to use his action to dash, and he's going to crawl up and into that window. So he's actually going to make a climb check because that window's too high. That's a natural 20 for him to climb. He just like backflips up in through the window and goes up into the window.
In the window.
Yeah, so he's in the kitchen. He's done there. You guys can't see him at that point. So he's got... And he actually... Okay, so he does what he needs to do, and he's actually back up into the kitchen. He's right where he is. He's like right where he is. He like jumped into the window, disappeared, and then jumped back up into the window. So he's there. All right.
Now who's Batman?
Splek's upset, dude. He does a natural backflip into the window.
Well, we'll have you do that on your turn. So now it's the cook's turn. So it's the adventurers and the cook's turn. Oh man, this is gonna be so many. Okay, so we have one of them dealing with squirrels. Yeah.
They're all watching her just
Squirrel
dealing
power.
with squirrels.
Death by squirrels.
She's running away from the squirrels.
30. She's gonna move an additional 30 that way. She's gonna dash.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right there. Pretty much just a big crater there.
Yeah. Probably blew the wall down. So.
Yeah, the walls are down. He said the stable's pretty much gone from the explosion, so.
They need to make a perception check to see if they see you. One of them does. Alright. Okay, so most of them chased after Shifty as they see Shifty pop back into kind of goblin form, just mutter something, and all of a sudden squirrels just start attacking their half-elf companion, and they're like, oh, we need to get after her. She's magical goblin. So they all rush after you, Shifty, and the only one of them that has a ranged weapon is the cook, who manages to reload his crossbow. And that's all he can do because that's his action. It takes an action to reload.
Thank goodness for crossbows.
Yeah, he's a dwarf, so he didn't take the human feat. Anyway, so he reloads his crossbow as he gets to the fence, and they all are just like, they just get to the fence and they see you, and they're yelling. Yeah, you're like pretending to be a tree on the side of the bank. One of them, kind of a little bit slower pace, kind of still looks around for a bit and locks eyes with you, Stubbs, and just like, oh, hey there, little guy. And he like pulls out this very wicked looking spiked longsword that's just got a slight curve to the end, and just slowly pulls it out and just kind of saunters down that alleyway toward you. He's like, don't go anywhere, I got a surprise for you. And the half-elven woman, who is just covered in squirrels, is just screaming, tearing rodents off of her as she just runs full-fledged away from where the squirrels are, just frantically trying to get away.
Into the burning stables.
They're not burning, they're just decimated.
They're gone.
That's okay.
There's like sections of them that are kind of burning.
Smoking.
All right,
Smoldering.
Knob.
Fall in a hole.
You wouldn't hear that, so never mind, because you're
I don't
deaf.
hear anything. I'm deaf.
You have no
Can't
idea.
hear anything.
It is peaceful silence.
No, it's terrifying.
It's the sound of silence. All right, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
Sound of death mobs, more like.
I am shocked all of you guys are still alive.
I know. I thought I was gonna die.
I think the only reason we are is because we split up.
I can't roll a dice
Usually-
for crap.
Splitting the
That's
party
the
is
reason.
death, but in this
Everyone was
case,
gonna bring arrows, and I was just gonna die immediately because they were all like,
I was happy.
lizard.
I was happy Spleck died. I had one less thing to keep track of. Now I got.
No, you're in this too, buddy.
Oh no! I know.
Oh no.
Well,
I want your brain in here too, doing stuff.
I will go back this way and peer around the corner. And
Okay.
just like look
You-
around because I can't hear anything. I have to rely on my other senses.
Yep. You see a half-elven woman who is mostly devoid of her squirrel plague at this point. But the squirrels, just as she throws one off, like another one just manifests from a bush somewhere and just like jumps onto her leg and starts attacking.
all of these squirrels have gingivitis.
And you think you see, weirdly, Spleck. Spleck's back. That's weird. But you just barely catch like the side of his face as he's kind of sitting up in the windowsill that you had broken out of earlier.
In my head, I think this guy just won't die. And I will throw a dagger at him.
Okay. He technically has 3/4 cover.
You can move to where
Can
he doesn't.
I will move a little closer because that was like 15 feet of movement.
Sure, yeah, if you move like 10 feet more toward where Pez is, you think.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd say he has like maybe a quarter cover just because he's kind of still hiding in that windowsill, but you definitely have a better target for him.
Does he know I'm there?
He clearly sees you.
Oh, well,
As he's like peeking around that edge.
doesn't matter. That's an 18 plus 7.
18 plus 7? You
Yeah.
hit.
Ooh, nice.
That's 9 points of damage.
All right. And this is going to be 50-50 on whether or not you hit the stick of dynamite that he is currently holding. You hit that stick of dynamite.
Oh, goody.
How many feet away are you from him?
About 15.
Yeah,
You
10 or
15?
15. 10 or 15.
Okay, 10. It's a 10-foot blast.
he's up,
It's a 10-foot
so-
blast radius. So
Yeah.
10.
I'm gonna
Okay.
just miss you.
Nice. Now you're just a little more
Ooh.
deafened.
Yeah, actually,
You're gonna be like,
Help it.
it's
I
like
don't
right
hear
on
it.
the edge of
It
the
explodes.
10.
So he doesn't. That actually doesn't hit the half elf, and that doesn't hit you. So yeah, as you throw the dagger,
Not again.
and just perfect shot, it just scrapes right by the window and tags him as he just holds up something to kind of defend himself, and it's just a stick of dynamite. This red little candle looking thing, and it just
off the rock.
slices right into it, and your dagger goes right through it, hits the windowsill, which causes that spark, and just and just rock and stone fly everywhere, all the way across where the stables used to be, everything, and Spleck dies.
Off now.
Like a splat.
Again.
Spleck dies again.
Spleck's
I don't
that
think
one.
he's coming back from
Most of the tavern, or most of the kitchen is still there just because it was only one stick of dynamite, but
Still not a very good window now.
it is not a very good window now. All right.
It's a great window. Are you kidding? It's like the whole wall.
That I
Yeah,
see.
exactly. It's
and
like a
go,
garage door now.
That was
Just go back
noisy.
up.
Yeah, you feel it. You don't hear it. You just feel it.
Yeah.
It's like watching Jurassic
I'm
Park on a
going
movie theater.
to.
In fact, the half elf who
this-
gets sprayed with
right
stone takes 15 points of damage as just rocks pelt her.
Yeah. Would I? Is this open back here, or is there just more hedge?
That actually goes deeper into the town itself. So when you were looking over there, there is a little bit more hedge there, but you can kind of see through either gaps of the hedge or over it where sections are particularly low, and it looks like that is the dense center of where the town is, going that way.
Right. I'm gonna hope that I'm able to circle back around somehow. Ooh, I know. I'll just come back this way, and I'm just gonna go around the long way. If I
Okay.
can.
So you have your bonus action left.
Yeah.
So you get a bonus action dash.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I want to get out of line of sight of that guy, whoever he is. I just go back this way.
Okay. Boop, 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 boop.
Just like, nope.
Stubbs, you hear another giant blast coming from behind you, and like an action movie where you just don't take your eyes off of the person in front of you, and just everything's blowing up around you. There's just rock and just destruction all around you, and you're just facing down this guy walking towards you.
All right. I run.
Yeep.
There.
Okay. And you can take your action to dash and run an additional
I
25.
just have a bonus action to interact or do something with the world. 5, 10, 15, 20.
25?
25.
Hide on the other side of that wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna go right here though, because I get 10 more, right, for the dash.
You do not. That is his special.
Oh, that's
ability.
his thing?
That's his thing.
Cool.
Rogues is slippery.
I guess my bonus action, interaction with the world. I have that stick of dynamite. I want to light and toss it at the cannon.
That'd be an
All right,
action.
so you need to make me an athletics
Okay.
to see how well you can
Do that.
do that.
Because it looks like at the angle and everything, I'm a goblin. It's going to miss me, is what I would think.
I mean, you don't necessarily.
No, sure.
You don't know what that thing is.
So yeah, we'll just do it.
Okay.
What? Okay, so you want to...
Athletics.
Strength.
God, I suck at dice. 4.
All right.
I basically
So,
shove it in my
where-
own nose.
Where were you aiming?
Like,
What?
Were you aiming directly on top of the cannon?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was aiming for...
Okay.
That's pretty far throw. If I can just get it to the dang cannon, it'd be nice.
Okay.
I rolled a 4.
I was gonna say,
I'm pretty much just dropping at my toes.
I'm pretty sure that would be a natural one.
are the barrels
Okay,
there?
so
Are they
that-
little hog heads?
It lands
Okay.
directly behind the cannon. 5-10, which Pez is in, but you don't know that.
Right.
What is it?
So you,
a stick of
Pez,
dynamite.
you watch as you see Stubbs just hoofing it, just full on running, and as he's going to slide by the fence, he pulls out this little sparkly red candle, and he kind of snaps his fingers, and the top of it starts going tss, and he kind of looks around for a minute, and he just takes it and he hucks it in your direction, and it kind of slips out of his hand, and it goes a little bit wide, and then hits the very top of the cannon, and then ding, 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 and you look at it for a second, and it's just sitting there.
It's what I wanted, but it's not the way I wanted to do it.
So we're gonna roll
How long does it
because
take?
we
By
we used a fuse. We're gonna roll to see if it goes off this round or next round.
Okay.
It goes off this round.
Of course it does.
All right.
Quick views. Bye, Linnea.
I know, right?
Okay, you take 17 points
I'm dead.
of bludgeoning damage.
I am so dead.
as
I am not only unconscious, I am dead.
it detonates. And
The bush is red.
Which is red.
Yeah, and it's because I'm
it's
invisible.
aiming. We're gonna see if it sets off the cannon, which was loaded, by the way, which it does with a natural 20.
Okay.
Guy behind the fence over there is about to get.
Yeah, so it's
Blasted.
aiming roughly for right where the guy was that was walking down the alley towards you.
Yeah. It sure is.
So
I had such a good plan too, you guys. Dang it.
I didn't
did have a special
invisible.
Yeah, I know. You don't. That's okay.
So as the actually the dynamo's gonna go off, so it's gonna move the cannon. So the cannon's not even gonna point there. So it's gonna turn, it's gonna turn counterclockwise, 25 degrees. Yeah, 25 degrees.
So about like that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna
That's
go
roughly
that way.
25 degrees.
Back into town.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
nowhere near me, thankfully.
So, cannon just kind of like jolts forward from the explosion. The barrels to the side just erupt in explosion, and the cannon, which apparently was loaded, why would anybody put a loaded cannon in the middle of town? I don't know. Goes off, and the cannonball just and whizzes and takes out a tree on the way, goes right through the second floor of a house, just smashing through the entire second floor of it, and then taking a chimney off before the cannonball just kind of starts losing momentum and disappears into the darkness.
Yeah,
I see
I
it
just
go
lay there
by?
giggling.
You
That's awesome.
I just lay there giggling.
You don't see the cannonball go by, but you all of a sudden watch a tree which you were standing right by, like half of the trunk just goes gone, like a perfect round circle is missing from the
figured
tree,
I was gonna die.
and then you watch kind of in the same trajectory the second floor of the house that you were about to kind of, you were debating whether or not you should run there or you should take the long way. That second floor of that house is just, I mean, caved in. There's just a puncture mark that goes all the way through it, causing chaos and destruction.
When I'm trying to kill someone, I can't do it.
All
Right? I'm the one person who's been like ignoring you the whole time.
all in
And then
silence.
Like I said, this is all terrifying because that could have hit me. I don't know.
You have no idea what's going on. All right.
Just hear a. Ah, shucks.
Yes.
And then there's little gross pieces of goblin stuck to the hedge
Wow.
there.
That
Yucks.
that took a really long time to kill a goblin. Okay.
Hey, I did better than I expected
that is
to. I had a
Paz.
plan, but
Right.
I did so much better than I thought I would.
Shifty, it is your turn.
All right. So
You're sitting there being a tree.
It doesn't work.
You watch Stubbs go over there, throw this thing, explosion, cannon. You watch this whole thing go down. And you are also reminded of the angry mob coming up behind you.
weird or death. I'm gonna take the squirrels over towards the
The squirrels can only move 30 feet.
right, and they're in range because they were right here.
They are currently on her.
Thought it was the place that it was attacking.
And the place that it was attacking was her. The squirrel mob is currently on her. You've like infected her with a squirrel swarm, if you will.
All right, I'll
So
just
the-
recast it then.
Okay.
At
So as your
the
action-
Crossgo. Pro.
At the cook.
Yep.
All right. So he needs to
Bye,
make
cook.
he needs to make a dexterity save. That is 13.
That fails. So
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
cook is the one that you guys have hurt the
16,
most.
17, 18, 19 damage.
19 damage. So as you turn around, mutter your incantation again, squirrels all of a sudden just start dropping dead off of the half-elf, little tiny fur balls, and then they just start manifesting off the wall and out of the river. They start crawling out of the river and out of the bushes and just jump on the cook. The cook, he looks like he's doing rough. He is not looking very good right now. He is covered in squirrels. They're biting him. He's bleeding all over the place. He's batting them off of him, and the squirrels are just chewing him apart.
He's
He
still alive.
He is like more blood than he is skin right now, but he is just hanging on.
I run that way
Okay,
because
that's
they're
terrifying.
still there.
All right, so River is 10, 20 to get over it.
So 5, 10,
20, so you have 5 more feet. Yep, you get right there.
Can I? Let's see.
Your bonus action.
Oh yeah, bonus. Can I do a cantrip for a bonus?
If the cantrip is a bonus, I don't think you have any cantrip bonus.
Probably not.
What do you want to do with your cantrip bonus?
Yeah, I'm just gonna throw poop at the crossbow guy.
The Costco guy?
The Costco,
Costco guy.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Costco
The
guy.
Costco man.
All right.
You can do
All right.
anything.
So give a ranged attack. So that would be +5.
No.
Okay. You go to throw the poop, and it doesn't have enough substance, so it just kind of streams through your fingers as you try to launch it. And what you do is you basically get human feces that's dripping down your arm.
Nah.
Yep.
Can I just lay on the ground?
It's a regular-
Would that take any movement?
regular
if I just
Tuesday.
fall over?
You can drop prone. Yes. That is your turn, though.
Yep.
Okay.
Tougher to hit.
Yep. Especially with ranged attacks.
Now it is the cook's turn. The cook is going to take a shot at you. Disadvantage. Because you are... That is 19. That is a natural 20. So,
19.
Join me in the afterlife.
he hits you. Oh, no, that's the wrong dice. That is 9 points of damage as he just slapping squirrels off of him, gets enough concentration, throws his crossbow down onto the thing, and just screaming as squirrels just start eating him alive, lets loose this crossbow bolt. Flying true.
Dang. Yep. It got me.
And
But
as
I'm
you...
not dead.
You're not dead.
Right.
How are you? Okay.
Because I have 8 hit points and I'm just unconscious.
That is very true. So, as you fall to the ground, the crossbow bolt takes you right into the sternum, almost pinning you to the ground, and you feel consciousness leave you.
Just say, squirrels.
Yep. And the squirrels fade off as you lose your concentration.
What?
All right.
Go unconscious, you're
The
still
adventurers.
They just stop existing.
Yep.
They just
All
squirt
right, she is going to
imagination.
move 30 feet that way.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Diagonals count as 5. Does she have line of sight of Knob?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She knew I was there.
Yes, she watched you run around the corner, throw a knife at another goblin, and then run around.
Oh. Seems fair.
Like, she very much knows you're there because she just took a beating from boulders that, as far as she's concerned, was your fault. So she pulls out her longbow, draws it back, fires, and that is 14.
Misses.
And the arrow just goes...
Just turn around, looking where that cannonball came from, and go, oh no!
Yep.
No.
The arrow just goes right by you, and she lets out what you can only assume is a curse, but you can't hear it.
Nope.
Oh man.
I'm just gonna have to end them all.
All right, they're gonna. So, he loses you. The guy who is closest to you, Stubbs, sees you, and he is gonna move 30 feet toward you.
Is there oh, there is?
Yep.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Okay.
Got a wall in the way.
And he is going to yell, "I got another one!" And so
I don't think any of
All
us are
of-
getting on the ship.
all of them but the cook
That's fair. I'm just dying on the ground with no help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're all moving toward you. That guy who was initially going after you is gonna go after the half elf.
Okay.
So he's gonna move. He's gonna dash full 60. So he's gonna move 12 squares.
About right there then, pretty much.
Okay. And then the cook is going to hop over the fence. So that is 10, 5, or so 15, 20. And then he is going to just get 1 square into the river as he's walking over toward that goblin. All right.
Yeah,
Splack is dead. Knob.
well, initially I thought I could take her. She looks fairly damaged. Then I see a buddy and I go,
Yeah.
smoke bomb.
All right. That is your action. You completely disappear as smoke poof around you.
Run.
Actually,
backward.
sorry, as smoke around you. Because you can't hear anything.
As smoke.
I know it makes
Alright.
a noise, but I'm going to run out of the smoke and around the inn this way.
Okay. Are you using your bonus action to dash, I assume? Okay. Yeah, then yeah, go as you can best guess from the little tiles inside the...
Up there. I just go, ninja vanish.
Yep.
I
Stubbs,
say that.
it is your turn.
As I'm behind the wall,
Your mic is down.
hiding after I see the explosions happen and everything, I meditate.
Okay.
I talk to the spirits.
Okay. So
One time per long rest, I can try to commune with the spirits.
Yep.
Roll a 1d20. On a roll of 5 or higher, I may ask the spirits one question which you know is the truth.
Yep. So they will give you an answer to something that you can trust is true.
A 10.
Okay. So as you just feel the world falling apart around you, it's all chaos. You don't know what's going on. You just take a moment. You meditate, reaching out to all those voices that never shut up in your head. You think for a second. And you listen. You isolate one. And it says, "Get in the river, you nitwit. Hide. You're gonna die."
I get to ask the question.
Well, what was your question?
Yeah, that's the
I
point.
assumed, how do I get out of this? Sorry. What was your question?
How do I operate...
That was
these
another voice. Sorry, that was another voice.
How do I operate these things the humans call a boat?
Ha! Like, you hear a simultaneous, 12 goblin voices, that's a weird question. And then for, like downloading information from the Matrix, you just feel your mind just... As you understand, there are big cloth panels. They capture the wind. It moves these things. They float on the water. You just need to be able to drop the big cloth things, and then using utilization of ropes. And you just, suck up all this knowledge, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I think I know how to do this.
Perfect.
All right, that is your action, so you still have your movement. And your
And that's
bonus.
exactly what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Move. But that other voice, I'm going to listen to it too, because I have all these voices talking and get in the river.
Sure.
So, what, 5, 10, what was your math on this one again? On the
Going over a water tile takes 10 movement. Unless you were if you were falling
probably 5
into
to
it,
drop
if you were
in.
falling
I
into
would like
it,
to
it's just
drop
5.
into it and then
It's
go
just-
under the
yep,
bridge.
It's just 5. So flowing with the river, it's not a very fast current. So
Sure.
you move, but each tile is going to take 10.
Okay,
so-
where should I be
so-
with the math?
5.
Because this was 5. And
5,
5 to jump
10.
in. Yes, there's 10.
So then he gets to move 1
20.
tile. So you are effectively partly under that bridge right now.
And in the water.
And you're in the water.
Neato.
Partly under the bridge. Okay.
And now I know how boats work.
You do.
Awesome.
You are a marine goblin
Telling ya.
in all forms right now.
Plays the long game every time.
All right.
It's a lot easier if you have
Shifty,
more people.
make a death saving roll for me.
19.
I would give you death saving rolls, Pez, but
No, I'm dead.
most of you is everywhere.
No,
So,
I am very,
okay.
very dead. It was more than twice my...
15, you said?
19.
19. You save 1 death saving throw.
Yep.
One number off from coming back to consciousness. All right. Then we have the cook, who is going to...
He just assumes I'm alive on the ground after he shot me.
He's coming over to cut your head off because he wants your trophy. He wants your head as a trophy.
20.
Because as far as he's concerned, he hates all these goblins now, and he's going to mount all of your heads.
So one attack is...
So he walks over, and he pulls out his cleaver, and he is going to auto-hit you. So you lose...
It's 2 death saving
You
throws.
lose 2 death saving throws. Death saving throws.
Death saving throws?
Fail 2 of them. As he just starts hacking at your neck with his cleaver.
I just stare from under the bridge like.
Okay.
Trickle of red comes down the
I
water.
scooch over a little bit, get out of the trickle of blood.
Okay, so...
Gross.
4. All right, so half-elf lady runs into town. She's gone. She's looking for the goblin that she was after. Yep. The one guy, he goes all the way to the end. He does his 30 toward the end of the tavern.
Here, someone will take over.
Yep. Okay, those guys move all to the very start of the bridge, and they're going to make perception checks to see if they even notice you. That is a 5. That is a 4. That is an 18.
It's a 1.
So the guy with the club does notice you, so he's going to move over to the water to see what you're up to. And he's going to make an attack at you, because he sees a goblin.
Like dead.
That is,
Get in the blood.
that is
Blood.
13 to hit, as he takes a club and goes to
Just
whack.
barely gets me.
Oh,
Gosh darn, I got 12 armor class.
I'm the toughest one to hit.
Yeah.
Just
On the
barely
second-
gets
that
me.
is 7 hit points as he brings his club
Ow!
bashing down
You're alive.
Now
on
there is
your-
my blood here with the
on,
blood from
on
her
your
up there.
shoulder.
Oh.
And it,
Strangely enough, he doesn't say anything to the other guys. He just walks over and hits you.
Maybe he's a mute.
He's a masochist. Okay. Sadist or whatever
maybe they get
the right word is there.
bonus for trophies.
Okay.
Yeah, no, yeah, maybe
Hey,
Knob.
maybe
It
there's
is your
bounty
turn.
for collecting heads.
Yep.
Okay.
Fingers.
I assume that they're just coming after me, so I'm gonna go 15, 20, 25.
We're getting close, so hang with us, audience. We're gonna go till everybody's dead or somebody finds a boat.
I was so close.
35.
I'm working on it.
Get there.
Okay, so
No,
My
Mark,
money's
that's
on
my
you now,
dash
so-
with the bonus action.
Hey, I
can-
still
I
might
have
make
an
it.
action.
Your
still.
head's removed.
Not yet.
He's literally hacking it off.
True.
Can I see
Technically-
what's going on over here?
Technically, she goes first. If she rolls a natural 20, she could come back to consciousness.
Or if I roll anything, I
you-
come back to consciousness.
You can't see
Anything
anything. There is a
above
building in your way over
9.
there, and these walls are much too tall for a goblin to see over from your distance.
Right.
So right now, you look back into this courtyard where there was just so much going on, and it's now just there's like a pile of dead squirrel bodies, and that's all you see. It's very weird. As there are like 3 trails of smoke coming off different areas.
I go back in the inn.
Okay.
He's like, I'm
I
gonna
mean,
have a beer.
you do not have any more movement left.
No,
You used your movement, and then you used your
And you
bonus
dashed,
action to
yeah.
dash.
I can't use my action to move any further.
If you used your bonus action to dash, you can't triple dash. So you have just an action left.
I will.
You're on deck, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I will grapple crossbow onto the roof. If I can.
Of the tavern?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a attack roll. So just add your dagger attack roll onto it to see if you can hit it.
How large can they be?
Not very
15.
That is exactly what you need. So yep, you grapple crossbow up onto the roof, just hanging on
Yeah, one square.
the
That's it.
eaves,
No bigger.
and reel yourself up, and you're up on top of the roof.
Sweet.
Okay.
And I will
Stubbs.
look down and wait.
Okay. Stubbs.
I'm looking up info for him.
Let's see.
I just need to know one piece of information, and I'm ready to try.
It is, yeah. No larger than a 5-foot cube.
Cool. I'm going to cast Minor Illusion
Okay.
of myself dead right in front of this dude as I'm still coasting off in the river.
Okay.
So he sees me laying there in
Okay.
his brain.
What is your spell save DC?
Spell save
On the
DC.
back.
Big circle. Big circle.
Oh,
15.
yeah.
That is a natural 7,
So probably not.
13. So nope. He is like, I got him.
Perfect. And then I'm going to come out this side of the bridge and start heading this way.
Okay. So
10,
that's
20.
10, 20.
I don't know how much I coasted in river time with current.
you coast on your turn. So that's
Alright,
that's your movement. So 10,
That's right.
10, 20.
20, 25.
Okay. You're technically still out of sight of everybody as you're kind of
Right.
under the bridge, and the bridge is raised up above the river. But that's your movement. You have no more.
Gotcha. So there's an action and a movement.
That's your action. You move it. So you have your bonus action if you want to do anything with it.
Is there anything cool to do with my bonus action? I'm out of dynamite.
You're out of dynamite.
Shifty,
Grab onto the wall so you don't float any farther.
you need to make a death saving throw.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'm just going to chill right there, guys.
Nope, I'm dead.
And
Rolled a 4.
as Shifty, sitting there on the edge of consciousness, your life force bleeds from you as the cleaver makes its last blow.
Yep.
And Shifty has
Love it.
achieved 2 forms, body and head.
Oh.
Yeah.
Welcome to the afterlife.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
Just a cloud of Pez comes over. It's kind of like waves at you. All right. Shifty gone. Cook finishes decapitating. Adventures. Okay, so he has no line of sight of you.
Yeah, I'm like hiding down
Those
here underneath
guys,
the
there's-
bridge still on the
they're-
side.
They're gonna look around for Knob, but they can't see. They can't see anything. And the club guy, he's like looking at the water, and he's like, "Wait, it's not moving." Huh. And he like goes to hit it again, splashes water. He's like, "Oh, I missed."
Wow.
All right,
bright
Knob,
one.
your turn.
Super smart.
Okay. What about this guy?
Oh, yeah, there's still a dude.
He's. You have no vision of where he is right now.
I was gonna say, does he continue on this direction or?
You do not know where you do not know.
Right. From my vantage point, do I see the cleaver pull off ahead?
No, that is actually out of your range for dark vision.
Right. It is nighttime.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can kind of see them just because of the explosions. There's like dim light over there from everything being on fire, but they're like out in a field basically, so there's no light over where the cook is
Right.
doing his gruesome work.
I will use my action to rappel down.
Okay, that's your bonus action. It was your bonus action to repel up, so it's your bonus action to repel down.
Okay. Then, at that point, I will go into the inn.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15 if you want to put him in the square just inside the door. Bottom. Yep.
Right.
Square
Yeah,
yep. So that's
still
at
doesn't
15,
have to do it.
15 feet of
But yeah,
movement.
it takes no spell slots.
Okay.
Okay.
10 more.
Yeah. No, I'm just going back to the sewer.
Okay. Yeah, easy enough. If he uses his action to dash, he gets easily into the kitchen, and you're basically down in the cellar now, below where the kitchen was.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go back to the woods because screw this.
Right, Stubbs. Stubbs, it is your turn.
I'll survive.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to cast Minor Illusion again.
Okay.
30-foot range. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, like about right here then. Or somewhere right here. If I can.
Okay. Yeah, you
Barely.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
Barely.
You can probably put something on top of the hedge because you don't have line of sight because you're down in
On top of the
a
hedge
little
works.
river. So you can put something on top of the hedge because that's really where you have line of sight.
I'm going to do an illusion of him standing on top of the ledge laughing at them.
So the minor illusion is silent,
Oh.
which is ironic because
Okay.
he's deaf.
That's first too, whatever.
But yeah, there's
Like
just
dancing.
there's just a picture and it's not moving, but there's just a picture of Knob. It's just like a 3D hologram of Knob who's sitting there like mid chuckle, like just frozen on top of the hedge.
Cool.
Okay.
Not moving.
You have your
Not
your
laughing.
movement left.
Yeah, and then we're going to use it, of course. So, what, 5, 10...
Are you still
How's
in the water,
diagonals
or are
work?
you up?
I'm trying to get out of the water.
So
10
a
to get out.
diagonal still that would be 10 as long as it's in water.
Okay.
So if you're in the water, so that's 10.
Yeah.
Up out of it is an additional 10, so you have 5 feet
20.
more. There you go.
Cool. I go stand on where she blew up at.
Okay.
You're in line
You're
of
standing in the
sight.
little crater of crimson.
As a-
Clear crimson.
All right, that's Stubbs. Okay, the guards or the adventurers.
The adventurers.
One of them actually has line of sight of the.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm excited.
All three of them instantly look over at where Knob is and just simultaneously, like a spear, a sword, and a club, all go flying through the hedge, right through the image,
Wow.
smashing into the hedge itself. And all of them are very perplexed, and now they're very on guard, as they clearly now understand that something's casting illusions, and now they're snapping, looking around. That's it. The cook... He's gonna walk, so he's gonna cross back over the river again, and just move like 5 feet towards the adventurers. That's about where he's going. He's going to meet up with the rest of them.
So you said he's not in good shape.
No, the cook is rough.
Yeah.
If
how
I
he's
were
alive.
if I were to say on a scale between 1 and 48, he's a 5.
He's like that guy from Pineapple Express. Just won't die.
All right. Okay. Knob, your turn. So you are in the cellar right now.
Yep. I go to. I'm gonna grab a sack of food.
Okay.
Look, I go home.
And, yeah, he's leaving. He
Okay.
can't hear anything. He's terrified,
Okay.
and people are trying to kill him,
You grabbing potatoes or
and
onions?
he almost died. Yes.
You grabbing both of them?
It's like-
They're like 40-pound sacks of food. So this is
Like
effectively
every
you
pound
trying to
potatoes
drag
and with onions.
2 goblins at once. Like this is
Yeah.
like a strongman feat.
Well, I mean, I like dump one of the bags out, and I fill
Okay.
some potatoes, some onion.
Okay.
I grab some horse from the living room.
Okay. This is like your grocery shopping is your full turn here. But
I'm okay with that.
you now have a goblin smorgasbord.
Yep.
Okay.
And I head towards the sewer exit.
Yeah, you're like you grabbed your sack and you're now back in the cellar, like
Yep.
ready to open up the hatch to go down into the sewer.
Yep, I'm
Okay,
outta here.
Stubbs, your turn.
All right. I'd like to walk over to this hedge line. I'm guessing this goes this way.
Yeah, hedge line goes that way, and that's basically like that hedge line is also where the buildings kind of start, which is the outskirts of the town. So this road goes directly down to the docks.
Right, and that's exactly
Yep.
what I want to do.
So
I want to
you're
use
just-
my full movement to just
Okay.
sneakily walk
Okay, so
along
then-
the hedges.
So then your action is to make a stealth.
Okay.
So you're gonna do this stealthily.
Yes.
Okay. Mind you, the street is full of
I
people.
know.
Okay.
I remember you saying that.
Okay.
I have no choice. I got to go that way. So stealth.
Boy, invisibility sure would have come in handy right here, huh?
That is a 16.
16. The mob of people rolled a 13. So as you move along, they are just amazed at what just seems to be repetitious explosions happening all over. I mean, they don't even notice you. You look like a small kid just running along. They have no concept of who you are.
As bonus action, interact with the environment. I'd like to look up in this general area Because now I have knowledge of boats, and I'm looking for sails and
Oh,
masts.
you see 3 sails. One of them appears to be dark gray and kind of has like a kraken squid over it. Another one just has this like picture of a guy. And then
By yourself, though.
the other one looks to be like some kind of weird flute-like instrument across the sail with light blue. Yeah. But yeah, they're like 120 feet down this road.
Cool.
Like you see more than the sails. You see the boats that are attached to the sails
Awesome.
themselves. In fact, you now know it's rigging, sails, a mast. There's
Yes.
the crow's nest. Look, that's the helm.
And with this knowledge, I would obviously pick the smaller boat.
All right, so the guards are going to make one final check before they lose you into the crowd. That is an 11. That is a 14. And that is a 4, which does not beat your 16, so they do not notice you. The cook just goes to join them. He's looking for more goblin heads.
I was not being quiet, gathering stuff. I was quickly grabbing stuff and running.
All right, so the gold armored guy on the other end of the tavern there is right in front of the windows that you guys crawled out of by the tavern.
Here?
Yep, right there. And he is going to make a natural 4 investigation check to see if he sees any of the things that you gathered. He doesn't see a thing. So he's like, huh. All right, we are effectively out of combat.
Oh, yeah.
So now we have cameras back on us. All right, so what are the 2 of you guys doing? I assume you are just running down the sewer right now.
Yep.
Okay. And you are heading towards the boat?
I'm heading towards the boats.
Okay. Make me one more stealth check to see if you can kind of blend in with the crowd and make your way through kind of this section of people without giving off that you are a goblin.
It all comes down to the dice roll right here. That's a natural 20.
Holy crap.
That's a natural 20. Final dice roll to do it.
Gosh.
All right.
This guy, I'm telling you.
There,
Yes.
in the sake of brevity, there was even 2 guards at the front of the dock, and you just squeak by them without them even noticing. They're like just staring at the crowd. They're like, Henry, what do you think's going on at the tavern? I don't know. I hope it's still there. My shift gets off in the morning. Oh, man, now the cannon went off. I told you we shouldn't have put it there, loaded, with shot. That was a real stupid idea. And you sneak right by them. You have your choice of what is clearly emblazoned on the ship. Either the Kevin's Folly, the Gnomish Instrument, or the Winch. Of the 3 boats that you would like to pick.
Definitely the winch.
All right.
Be nice if he could read.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be nice. It's mostly for flavor.
Beyond the comedy of it, the smaller boat.
Yeah. All right, so you get on the one with the sails have a kraken on it. Get on there, and oddly enough, it's not a huge ship. It's like a smaller, it's like a bit bigger than a schooner. 2 masts, and though it takes you quite a while because you're only one person and you're very tiny and you have an entire ship to basically sail abroad, you finally get it to undock and start coasting off slowly as there is no wind at night. So you're
Ever
just
so.
drifting off in the tide. Yep, as it slowly goes off. Knob.
I go back to the boar that we killed.
All right, make me a survival check as you are trying to make your way through the forest at nighttime, and the boar is a day away from you.
5.
5. All right, so
I don't care if I get lost in the woods. I'll go hunting. It'll be fine.
you go through the sewer. You break out into the little irrigation ditch where you caught Spleck washing dishes. You see the wall off to the side. You hear commotion from behind you, and you're like, okay, I'm out of here. This went to hell. I'm done. And so you are like, that's the woods. That's where we came from. I know that's where we came from. And you, with your sack of supplies, run off into the woods. And after like a good 20 minutes of tromping through the woods, you can't hear the water, you can't hear noise, you don't know where you're going, you're just kind of lost, and you have no idea where you're going. You're effectively heading east, which is away from the water and away from the boar. You're heading inland right now.
That's fine.
Yep.
Just go start your own colony somewhere.
All right. I think that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. We have Stubbs, who surprisingly took the ship.
I'm a deaf hermit.
Yep.
And 50% of our group actually lived, which is about 100% more than I thought would. So, thank you very much for joining us for part 2 of Goblin Shenanigans. We will be back next Tuesday with Immersion RPG, I believe, backstories, depending on how Joe is feeling, if he's like on vacation hangover or not. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Appreciate you sticking with us. Immersion